Allora, human side. Non c'è! È vero, non c'è! Cancellato Butler! Hai ragione, Andrew. Beh, grazie per l'osservazione, non ce ne eravamo resi conto la volta scorsa. Kasumi.
ようやく見つけたわよ。エンジェちゃん。
Looks like I finally found you, huh, Ange-chan? Before I knew it, Aunt Kasumi and her black suits, a total of 7 people who didn't resemble Marione-chan in the slightest, were standing there, surrounding me. And it felt like my voice had been just about to reach Marione-chan too. Because of these guys' talks and the magic got interrupted. Ange clicked her tongue a bit at that, but Kasumi probably didn't hear it that way.
そのお花は亡くな
Are
った家
those
族への
flowers for your deceased family?
偉いわ。
How admirable.
それ投げるんでしょ。
We're going to throw them, right?
いいわよ。
That's
それまで
alright.
待っ
We'll
てあげ
wait
る。
that long. Before what? Ange could more or less guess. The way the black suits had their hands unnaturally stuck in their pockets made me realize that they were obviously in possession of handguns. This is a deserted island. There could be no more convenient place to dispose of someone. I have absolutely no interest in the family matters of the Sumadera family, but if I die, all of the wealth will roll right into the Sumadera family coffers. Unlike me, they probably have a great deal of interest in it. Of course, the Ushiromi group has a stake in this too. It seems that if the massive amounts of stock I own suddenly go to the Sumaderas, it'll be pretty bad for the Ushiromi group as well. And so, they have apparently gotten themselves embroiled in a secret feud over me. That's probably why President Okonogi gave me Amakusa as a guard. Having Amakusa wait on the boat was a regretful mistake.
おばさん、いつから
How
ここで
long
待ち
have
伏せ
you
を？
been waiting here in ambush?
早朝からよ。
Since early
おか
morning,
げですっかり待
and
ちく
I
たび
was
れちゃった
getting
わ。
totally tired of waiting
何
for
しろ
you.
喫茶店もお
There
化
are
粧
no
室もない
cafes
から
or
ね。
powder rooms here, you know?
トイレもないから、お上品に木陰で
No
用を
toilets
済ませてい
either,
た
so
わ
I
け
guess you
ね。
had to elegantly drop a load behind the tree.
仮にもスマデラ家の血を
One
半分
who,
引いて
in
る淑
spite
女
of
が
herself,
そん
is a
な
lady
汚
with
らわし
half
い言葉を
Sumadera
使
blood
うんじゃ
flowing
ない
through their
の。
veins, will not use such filthy words.
やっぱりス
You
マデラ切り
really
絵の
are
子ね。
Sumadera's curious child, aren't you?
気品のかけらもあ
Not
り
a
ゃしない。
trace of grace. She grabbed me by my hair and forced me to force my face up to hers, and then spat in it. My words are filthy, but her spit's not to be outdone.
おばさんが私のことを話す
Every time
と、
you
いつも
talk
母
about
さんの
me,
ことばかり。
it's always with reference to mom.
私、そんな
I'm
にも
really
母さ
that
んに似
much
てます
like my mother.
ええ、
Yes,
似ているわ。
you are.
その生意気
That
そうな目つ
impertinent
き、
gaze.
鼻も口
Your
もそ
mouth
っ
and
くりよ。
nose are the same
自
too.
由奔放で無責任。
Unrestrained and irresponsible.
歴史と伝統あるス
She
マデラ
thought
家の重み
nothing
など
of the
何も考
long
えず、
history and
自
tradition
分
of the
勝手に家
Sumadera
を飛び
family
出したわ。
and selfishly flew out of the
お
house.
かげで
My
私の
entire
人生
life
は
I've
ずっ
been
とその
wiping out
尻
the
拭き。
messes she left behind.
まさにあんたの人
I
生。
guess that
クソ
makes
まみ
your
れ
life a
ね。
giant pile of shit. I was slapped on the cheek, my ear took a heavy hit, and for an instant my head rang. She pulled me around by the hair and threw me onto the ground. And without a moment's pause, she kicked me to the ground, covering me in sand.
ああ、本
Yes,
当に
you
姉さんに
truly
似て
have
きた
become
わ。
so very like 姉さん。
その目つき、
That
そ
gaze.
のどこか小馬鹿にした目
Gaze
つ
like
きよ。
you're somehow making fun of me.
ああ、思い出すわ、いろ
So
い
I'm
ろと。
coming back. All of it.
哀れな人
You
ね。
are
きっ
pitiful.
と幼い頃か
I
ら
imagine that since you were
何かに
young,
つ
you
け
were
て母
always
さんに比
compared
較され
against
て
mom and
蔑
looked
まさ
down
れてきた
upon.
んでしょうに。そしてあんたは
And for
一
the
生
entire rest of your life, you'll never be released from that misery.
お前みたいな小娘にはわから
Little
ない。
brat like you couldn't possibly
あん
understand.
たのお母さんはね
Your mother, you see,
何も
is a
かもを
loser
投げ
who
出して
threw away
スマデ
everything
ラ
and
家を
ran
逃げ出
away
した
from
負
the
け犬な
Sumadera
のよ。
family.
その負け犬のせいで
You know, do
私
you
がどれほ
know
ど
how
どれほ
much
ど迷惑したことか。
how much trouble I went through because of that loser?
あんたの迷惑なんか
Any
私の知った
trouble
こ
you
っちゃ
went
ないわ
through has nothing to do with me.
私の生まれる前の
Can't really
話
do
をされて
anything
も
about
困る
what
わ
happened before I was born.
あんたの人生は
When is your
いつ
life
始
going
ま
to
る
begin?
始まりゃしない
It's
わ
never going to happen.
いつまでも
You
い
will
つまでも
continue
永
to be
久に
sneered at by my
死んだ
dead
母さん
mother
に嘲笑
forever
われ
and
続け
ever for all
そのま
eternity
ま死ぬのよ
till you die.
というか
In fact-
死ねば
Why don't you
なんで
die?
生きてるの
Why are you alive?
この口の減らないガキが
You little insolent
あんたた
peasant.
ちちょ
Man,
いとお茶をしてやり
make
な
her
さい。
some tea.
お任せを
Leave it to
口
us.
の利き方も知ら
You
ねえ
big,
クソガキ
you,
が
you big muffled shitty brat.
少し勉
Let
強
us
さ
teach
せて
you
や
a
るぜ
little lesson. The black suits dashed up to me, violently grabbed me by the collar and dragged me down.
私が一服終えるま
Do
で
as you like
適当
until
に
I finish this
か
smoke.
わいいメイ
Teach my
ちょ
darling
いと
niece a
身の程を
little
教
lover
えてあげな
place.
さい。
Sumadera Kazumi, she was a pitiable person, to think of it. To the outside world, the women of the Sumadera family were trained to be in a position to support and defer to the men in a prominent position. But in actuality, strong leadership was demanded of them so that they could manage all of the people under them. The role demanded of them was that of a female commander. Taking charge of the Sumadera family with all its proud history required an extraordinary level of commanding presence. It was an unimaginable heavy responsibility. Normally, this would have been demanded of Kirie. Kirie had undergone that harsh training, and Kasumi, as the younger sister, should have been able to just take it easy. No, in fact, she had lived like a lazy, selfish and affluent princess, sneering at Kirie, who had been given the heavy responsibility. However, Kirie was suddenly disinherited. She had refused the fiancé her parents had arranged and had gotten pregnant by her lover, Ushiromiya Rudolph. From the Sumadera family perspective, even though the Ushiromiya family had a vast fortune, it was a family which had already collapsed, a family not in their league. And to become not even a legal wife but a lover to the second son of the family. Normally, no one would be shown mercy for something so dishonorable, not even a daughter of the main family. They would wrap her up in a mat, stand a pole on her, and throw her either into the Pacific Ocean if the pole fell to the right, or the Sea of Japan if they fell to the left. But Kirie's punishment was nothing but disinheritance, and unbelievably, an unbelievably lenient decision. After that, the Sumadera family began receiving preferential treatment from a section of the Ushiromiya group. There must have been some kind of backroom deal. In other words, Kirie took advantage of the Ushiromiya family financial support to leave the Sumadera family openly. Kasumi watched it happen in shock. No, she even disparaged her dishonorable sister as a loser. But eventually, she learned that the heavy responsibility Kirie had borne would be passed on to her. And then, for the first time, she realized that she had been outwitted.
あんたの母親の
Because
せい
of
で
your mother, my life
私の人
was
生は
turned
めちゃめ
into
ちゃ
a
にされ
mess.
たわ。いい
No.
え、一
You
度
could
殺
even
さ
say
れた
that
と
she
言って
killed
も
me once.
あの日に
On
私は
that day, I
一度
was
殺
killed
され
once
て
and cast down
地
into
獄
the
のような日々に突き落
into
とさ
a
れた。
hellish life.
それまで人生舐めてき
Isn't
た
that
ツケじゃ
just
ない
what you get for thinking you can breathe through life?
口の減らねえ小娘だ
This
ぜ
girl doesn't know when to shut
う
up.
ら
Hurrah! The black suits punched me in the gut and I doubled over, but I was quickly grabbed by the collar and made to stand up again. As she continued to cold-heartedly look down upon ENG, Kasumi blew out smoke. The hard days after Kirie left were floating through her mind. Until then, she had been allowed to be simply a rich young lady, unrestrained and unaffected. Only Kiria, the older sister, have been strictly trained, and she, the younger sister, had been able to live as nothing more than a princess. Then suddenly everything was turned over to such a degree that her life tumbled and crashed.
私の人生
My life,
生活
lifestyle,
生き方も
way of living,
何もか
everything
も
was
奪われ
stolen
た
from me.
事情を知らない
Do
親類
you
から
know
は
how much I was
姉さんの不名誉を
malign
どれ
based
だけ
on
蔑 ま
my
れた
sister dishonored by those relatives who didn't know the details?
呪ったわ
I detested
あなた
her.
のお母さんは
I
血を
detested
吐
your
くほど
mother
に呪っ
enough
た
to
わ
make my blood, to make me spit blood.
そりゃ嬉しいわ
Glad to
こ
hear
れ
it.
からもよろ
I
し
hope
く
it continues for many years to come. A kick landed into Ange's side as she lay prostrate to the ground. Ange didn't stand up again, so she continued to lie there like a caterpillar, getting kicked every time she spoke up. I saw Nathan at the Ushirome group party once. She was
旦
with
那
her
と一緒
husband,
でとても幸
looking
せそう
very happy
笑ってやがっ
and laughing.
私
She
全部を
She
押し付
pushed
けて
everything
自
onto me
分だけ
and found
幸せに
happiness only for herself.
だから
So
何
what?
私に八
How
つ当
is
たりすると
taking out on me
どう
going
あ
to
ん
make
たが
you
幸せになる
happy?
ってわけ私に八つ当
Is
たり
it
すると
taking it out on me
時
going
間
to
が
turn
巻き
back
戻っ
time and
て
change
歴
history
史が
for
変わっ
you
た
or
りしてくれ
something?
るわけ
あんた
You
さっ
said
き言ったわ
something
ね
a short while ago.
私の人
When
生
is
はい
my
つ
life
始ま
going
る
to
の
begin?
いくら恨んで
No
も八つ
matter
当
how
たり
much
し
I
ても
despise you
時
or
間を
take it
巻き
out
戻すこと
on
なんてでき
you,
な
I
い
cannot turn back
じ
time.
ゃあ私は死ぬ
So
まで
I'm
こうして
doomed to
死ん
keep
でも
on
なお
hating
姉さんを
Nathan
恨み
like
続け
this for
て
the rest of my life, even though she's dead.
冗談じゃないわ
Not if I can help
い
it.
つまで私は姉さ
How
んを俺
long
にさ
will
い
I
ま
be
してなきゃなら
tormented
な
by
い
Nesa's
だ
ghost?
から考えたのよ
And so I
こ
thought,
れを成し遂げ
if I
て
could pull this
全ての恨みを
off,
忘れて
I would be able to
やり
forget
直せる
all of my hatred and start over. Ange was about to respond to this with another bitter comment, but stopped, because she would be kicked again if she responded. Even if Kasumi didn't say anymore, it wasn't difficult to imagine what she meant. Kasumi was thinking of bringing an end to her hatred of Kiria by taking revenge against her daughter, Ange. Talking about pushing your problems onto other people.
ほら
Come,
立ちなさいよ
stand up.
そんなにこの
If
島
you
が
like
大好
this
き
island that much,
しっかり
I'll
深く
bury
埋
you
めてあげ
here
るわ
deep.
よその若さで死にた
You
く
don't
ない
want
で
to
しょ
die at your age, right?
母が迷惑をかけ
Don't
て
want
す
to
み
say
ませんで
sorry,
した
my mother
とか
caused you so much
言って
trouble
みたく
or
はならない
something.
誰が言うもんか
You wish. No, Saktaro!
エンジ様ダメこいつらを挑発しちゃダメです
Henji-sama, no! You mustn't provoke these guys.
ここは表向きだけで
Should
も
at least make it seem like you're going along with them, so you can buy some time.
くだらないプライドは燃えな
To
い
say
ゴミの
that
火に
you
出
should
しとけ
throw your foolish
よく
pride
言うわ
out
ね
with the garbage.
天草さんは
What about Amakusa-san?
天草さんが来て
If
くれれば
Amakusa-san comes, I know he'll...
ダメ
No,
あい
it's
つの
no
姿は
good.
見えないわ
I can't see him.
エンジ様のバカ
You idiot,
ど
Henji-sama.
うして天草を置い
Why
てき
did
たん
you
です
come without Amakusa? I don't need you to tell me that, Mama. I'm already right in the middle of regretting it. I walked a long way to get here. The forest was very thick. There was no way that the disturbance here will reach the boat. Ciao Shadow! A parte Angel che li sta prendendo male, tutto bene, grazie. As Kazumi took her sweet time smoking that cigarette down to the filter, I was continuously laid into by the black suits, however they deemed fit. The moment I grabbed my head to protect it, the top of my head was kicked by someone at a bad angle and my head filled with stars. The feeling of star flickering in a world twisted with grey was one I knew well. My life was very similar to the one Sumadera Kazumi led, because I was tormented constantly with all kinds of bullying under the guise of education and training to make me a worthy successor of the Ushiramiya family. Yes, Having the inside of my head filled with stars like this is a feeling I know well. When being reprimanded for some error in manners I seem to have made, the lecture always turned to whether I was fitting to be successor of the Ushiromiya family or not. On and on about the honor of the Ushiromiya family and how important it was. By the time her rant reached that point, I would forget what mistake I was being blamed for in the first place. No, actually, it was the same way for Aunt Eva too. After all, sometimes she would ask herself, what would I say again? And in the end, she wouldn't be able to remember and would say something like,
私が怒っているということはきっとエンジェが何か悪いことをしたのだろう。ならその悪いことが問題なのであって、何をしたかなんて今さら思い出せなくても問題ない。
The fact that I'm angry must mean that you did something wrong. So whatever wrong thing you did is the problem, and it isn't important that I can't remember what it was anymore. There'd be some ridiculous reasoning like that, and then she would continue punishing me. Yes, Aunt Eva punishments weren't something that would continue until I learned something or acknowledged my mistake or apologized. They would continue until Aunt Eva wanted to stop. So even this violence was a bit nostalgic in a way that made me want to vomit. I opened my eyes and, oh look, there's Aunt Eva, right next to Kazumi, who was smoking her cigarette. I could see Aunt Eva, the two of them looking almost as though they were laughing at me together. When I think about it, even Aunt Eva's life might be worthy of sympathy. The responsibility and pressures of members of the Ushiromiya family, which she had so often mentioned to me, were all things that she herself had suffered, because people cannot voice insults that they have never been subjected to themselves. It was probably the same way for Aunt Rosa as well. As the youngest child of the glorious Ushiromiya family, she must have gone through many tough times. So, just as Aunt Eva acted towards me, and just as Sumadera Kazuma is acting right now, Aunt Rosa must also have been the same. People push the suffering they have been made to bear onto other people. Otherwise, they can never escape from it. So on and on, in eternity and perpetuity, the chain of suffering and sadness never ends. That is the reason Maria Onechan's magic was so incredible. With her magic, she did not have to bear the suffering from Aunt Rosa. The pain was probably pushed onto her. Its weight probably tormented her. But Onechan did not carry that burden on her own shoulders. She exorcised it and filled the world with happiness. So I'm sure that even if Maria Onechan had children in the future, she would never have pushed the suffering force down through the generations onto them. The chains of suffering and sadness, which have been inherited by and forced upon each generation for who knows how long, was by Maria Onechan's magic broken.
Nani?
What is it?
私に何か
Do you
文
have
句でも
something
あ
to
る？
complain to me about? In the past, I would have snapped back and cancelled out her hatred with hatred of my own. No, I cancelled out nothing. The weight of that which had been forced onto her bears down hard on my shoulders as well. After all, even now, I hate her. So, now that I knew of magic, I looked at the human called Ushiromiya Eva again. What I could see through, too, was the sad form of a human, no different from me, who had lost her family and who bare deep wounds into her heart. Unable to withstand the pain of that torn heart, she was doing nothing except howling with a sad voice, like a lion crying in pain, like a child. Turns out Ushiromiya Eva was also a person deserving of compassion. She had needed someone to understand the difficulties and pain of her childhood days, and she too, as the only survivor of the Rokkenjima incident, who was faced with the inquisitive eyes of all of society, who was publicly slandered, who had salt continually rubbed into her wounds, and needed someone's compassion. In order to let her forget her pain and sorrow for at least a moment, the Black Witch, the very same that possessed Aunt Rosa, taught her magic. It was the same magic of anger and sadness that Beatrice had taught Maria Nechan, in which she was mourning for Saktaru after he was torn apart. That same magic, that witch, had surely dwelled inside Aunt Rosa too. So I was wrong to hate Oshiro Miyaeba. Perhaps I alone was supposed to have become her ally, the only person in the world who could understand her. What did I say to her when I was young, when she returned alive all alone? Could it be that the way I acted towards her, toward her was as if she had come back by herself after killing all of my family? I can't believe it. Aunt Eva, who throughout my life had never been more than an object of synonym for hatred, it was turning into a human who I could understand. And so I looked right next to Aunt Eva at the form of the Black Witch who taught her the black magic. Aunt Eva was crying. It was only natural. Not only did she had no one who would understand her pain of having lost her husband and son all at once, but even I, her only relative, insulted her, saying, "Give me back my mom and dad." I can make the excuse that that it was the mercilessness of youth, but to her at that time, that was probably cruel enough to sever her heart's last thread. In the following days, the talk shows and magazines publicly slandered her, the truth of her late husband's business and character, and even those about her beloved son were denied. She no longer had anything left. She could do nothing but cry and howl, trying to forget the pain and sadness for just a few moments, because only while howling could she feel the slightest beat of release. And so the Black Witch taught her how to howl. The one I hated was the Black Witch. The black magic probably did release her from that suffering for just a short time. However, it would never lift that weight from her shoulders. To the contrary, it would force that weight on further victims, filling the world with the weight of hatred. If Aunt Eva was to have a true witch nearby, one who knew of white magic, wasn't that supposed to be me? I had learned the magic to create happiness from Maria Nechan. If I could have saved her with that magic, might we not have built up a future with a completely different relationship? All this time, I have hated Aunt Eva, so I never noticed the Black Witch beside her. Without love, it cannot be seen. I didn't have any love for her. And now, finally, I glare at the Black Witch, the one I should truly hate. Oh, what's this? You can see me? Yes, I can. The one I should have hated wasn't Aunt Eva. Aunt Eva. It was you. Hey, you're pretty good. To think that a lowly human could see a witch like me. And so, are you trying to say something with that glare? Do you hate me? Hey, yes, I do. But that's not quite it. I just find you a little sad. Sad? What are you saying? Come on! You can get mad. Why don't you just hate me with all of your strength forever? I won't hate. Hating you means I'm doing nothing more than inheriting Aunt Eva's hatred. I'll
憎しみを
break
断ち
the
切る
hatred.
エヴァおばさんの
I'll
苦しみを
accept
受け止
Dante
め
Eva's suffering, exorcise it and throw it away.
払って捨てるの。
What kind of epiphany do you think you've had? Is your head alright?
っていうかへそでも噛んで死んじゃえば
I mean, why don't you just give up and die forever? You guys, kick her more and more, okay?
顔とかはダメ
Not
よ
her face
気
though.
の毒な顔
It
がマシ
wouldn't
に
do
なっちゃ
any
ったら
good
つまん
kicking
な
your
いから
pitiful face only to make it better. The black suits persistently kicked me in my stomach and back, as though they have been ordered to by the Black Witch.
やれやれ
Dear me,
答え
still
ない
nothing
ね
to you, is it? You keep
私を
staring
じ
right
ーっと
at
見
me.
ちゃって私が
You
憎い
hate me?
憎いで
I
しょ
bet you do.
私も
I
よ
hate you too. Kazumi sneered at me, but for some reason I had the feeling that she was crying behind that expression. She'd had a life just as unfair as mine forced upon her, and the pain of that never ever heals. The sad lion continues to howl, gasping in pain from the thorn he can get out.
ほらスマデラかすみ
So
見
there,
てごらんな
Kazumi,
さい
take a look.
かつてのあんたがそ
That
こ
over
にいる
there is
わ
what you used to be.
気分が晴れるで
Doesn't
しょ
that make you feel so much
か
better?
つてそこにいたあ
You
な
used
た
to
が
be standing
今度
there,
はこっち
but
側
now
にいる
you're
の
on
よ
this side. You know what? You know that?
愉快でしょ
Isn't it delightful?
立場が逆にな
Now
るの
the shoe is on the other foot.
本
It
当
truly
に
does
愉
feel
快だわ
delightful.
なん
How
でそ
can
ん
you
な
make
顔が
that
でき
kind
る
of
のよ
face,
エ
Angel?
ンジェ泣きなさ
Go
い
on
よ
and cry. You
泣
want
きたいんでしょ
to, right? Yes, yes. Of course she wants to cry.
泣かせちゃい
Go
なさい
on, make her cry.
あの時のあんたは泣か
You
され
were
ちゃっ
made
たじ
to
ゃない
cry back then, weren't you?
だからこいつ
So
も泣か
make
せて
her
や
cry
りなさい
too.
よ
And
Angel,
Angel, it's
もいいのよ。
alright, okay?
泣いちゃえば
Why don't you cry forever?
泣きなさいよ
Cry,
エンジェ
Angel.
あんたの泣き
I
顔が
want
見
to
た
see
いの
your
よ
crying
泣
face.
いてごめ
Cry
んなさい
and
か
try
すみお
saying,
ばさん
I'm sorry,
言って
Aunt
ごらんなさい
Kazumi.
そう
Yes,
その
make
言葉
her
を
say
言わ
those
せるのよ
words.
あの言葉
Those words
辛いでし
hurt,
ょ
right?
自分のせいじゃ
Being
ない
made
こ
to
とを謝
apologize
ら
for
せられ
something
るの
that
って
isn't your
本
fault
当に辛かったで
hurt
し
a
ょ
lot, didn't it?
同じ思いをさ
Make
せ
her
て
go
やる
through
の
the
よ
same thing.
そうすること
By
で
doing that, you
あな
can
たの
relieve
痛みを
your
和ら
pain.
げることができるの
Yes, that's the way.
そうよそれでいいのよもっと自分に素直
Be
にな
more
りなさい
honest with yourself.
もっともっと
Why
いっ
not
ぱい
spit out your emotions
自分の
more
感
and
情を
more and
吐き
more
出しちゃえば
forever? The Black Witch stirred Kazumi up, and Kazumi began to give herself over to that dark emotion. She was doing nothing more than turning her deep sadness into cheap booze and forcing it down, trying to forget just for a brief moment the words Kazumi insulted me which were themselves sad, and I couldn't forgive the Black Witch for taking advantage of Kazumi's sadness. I had gone limp on the ground, which seemed to have sapped the black suits of their enthusiasm for kicking, or maybe the kickers had finally gotten tired too. Kazumi hadn't ordered them to stop, but at some point the violence had halted. However, I was reflected in Kazumi's eyes, and they were burning me with flames of hatred. She had been tempted by the witch into doing that in order to relieve her own pain.
スマデラかすみまだよ
You aren't done.
まだまだ踏みにじ
You've
りな
got
さい
much more trampling to
あ
do.
なたの人生は
Can you
こん
forgive
な
what
ほん
happened
の
to
ちょっ
your
との乱
entire
暴で許
life
せる
just
の
by this little bit of violence?
許せないわ
I
よ
can't forgive what happened.
まだこれくらいでは許せない
It'll
んだ
take
か
a
ら
lot more than this for me to forgive that.
でしょ
Right?
許せるわけ
There's
がない
no way you can forgive.
もっとよ
Do it
も
more.
っと憎悪の
More of
炎
the
を
flames of hatred.
憎しみの炎でしか
Nothing can
あ
warm
なた
you
は
except
暖を
the
取れ
flames
ない
of hate.
怒りと悲し
You
み
are
の雪
freezing
原
in
で
the
凍
snow
えるあ
fields
な
of
たを
anger and
温められる
sadness,
炎
and
は
the only flame that
憎し
can
みだ
warm
け
you
なの
up
よ
is hatred.
ほら言って
Come on, say it.
叫んで
Scream it.
憎しみの方向で
Right.
自分を燃やし尽くしちゃえば
Why don't you burn yourself to ashes with a roar of hate forever?
後ろ宮エンジあんたを憎まなくちゃ私は生きてられ
Loathing
ない
you
の
is what allows me to draw breath.
スマデラかすみあの花束を
Sumadera Kasumi, that bouquet of flowers.
これ
These
死ん
flowers
だ
are
家
for
族
your
へ
dead
の花で
family,
しょ
right,
エンジ
Ange? The Black Witch grinned at me unpleasantly and used her chin to signal Kazumi to pick them up. Kazumi picked up the flowers I was going to offer, brought them all the way over to me, dropped it in front of me, and made a show of trampling them. Her expression was filled with hatred, and a frantic quality that simple hatred couldn't explain. It was as if trampling them over and over again was the only way to prevent the sadness inside her from reaching the bursting point. So the sound of her trampling was downright sad.
あら
Oh,
この程度
this
じゃ
isn't
答えない
enough to get to you?
ならこっちは
Then
答え
what
るか
about
しら
this?
スマデラかすみこっちを使いなさい
Sumadera Kasumi? Use this one.
それは
What about? Oh, the object the Black Witch pointed at was Maria Nechan's grimoire. Kasumi also noticed it and picked up the book, which was heavier than it looked.
なにこれ
What's this?
読んじゃえば
Why don't you read it and laugh forever? You might split your sides laughing. Kasumi opened the grimoire, skimmed over the content, and snorted derisively.
返して
Back.
それはお姉
That's
ちゃんの
Nechan's. Of course, my hand couldn't reach. My stomach was once again kicked by the black suits, and I curled up on the ground.
ほらね
See?
この本は
See how
エンジにとって
important
の
this
大
book is
切
to
なものでしょ
Ange.
大切なも
Mark
のを
the
けな
things
して
that
や
are
りなさい
important to her.
こういう子
That
には
works better than that works better than punching or kicking for a girl like her.
あなたがそれを一
You
番
know
よ
that
く知っ
better
てい
than
るでしょ
anyone, right? Kasumi's face twisted for an instant as though remembering something painful. But that quickly disappeared, changing into a scornful smile directed towards me.
なにこの気持ち悪い
What a
本
freaky book.
あんたが書いたの
Did you write this?
やめて
Give it back.
見てよあの顔
Look at that face.
けなしてやりな
Mock
さい
it more, mock it
尊
more.
厳を踏みにじ
Teach
ら
her
れ
the
る
pain
苦
of
痛を
having your
教えてやる
dignity
のよ
tremble.
そう
That's
す
the
ることで
only
し
way
か
to
あ
soften
な
your
たの
own
苦痛
pain.
は和らがないの
What's with this embarrassing book?
少女の時代に
I know some people develop a little interest in make-believe fortune telling when they're young girls.
これはちょっと行
But
き過
isn't
ぎじ
this
ゃない
taking it a bit too far?
やだ
For
魔
God,
法
it
だ
says magic.
あんたあれ
You're
でし
one
ょ
of those, aren't
アニ
you?
メとかの
You
なんと
know
かなん
that
と
thing in
かって
cartoons
呪
when
文
they
を
say
言いな
some
がら
blabbity
魔女に
blibbity
変
woo
身す
spell
る
and
や
transform into a witch.
ああいうの好きなんで
You're
す
one
よ
of the people who like doing that, aren't you?
痛々し
This is
いわ
just painful. Cackling, Kasumi opened to a random page and showed it to the black suits. The black suits looked too and guffawed. Non ho mai capito come si legge quella parola. That laughter wouldn't wound me. But I couldn't forgive it. After all, that laughter was ridiculing Maria Nechan. don't hate Kasumi for exploiting Kasumi's unhealing anger and sadness. I cannot forgive the Black Witch. That Black Witch ate into Aunt Eva, Sumadera Kasumi, and Aunt Rosa, tormenting them for all eternity without letting their wounds be healed. I can't forgive her. I can't forgive the Black Witch. Oh my god, this is priceless. Magic for making candy rain from the sky, it says. Let's see. Dissolve sugar into the cold water purified by the sun. Dip the magic wand in and say the incantation. What the hell? The black suits also rolled around, guffawing. Then, grinning, the Black Witch whispered something into Kazumi's ear. Then, after glaring at me with a grin, Kazumi took that page. Kazumi grabbed hold onto that page, tore it out, crumpled it up, and threw it away. It's so mean. It's Maria's magic. Really? How sad. It was one of the magic that summons happiness, that Maria had made with Saktaro. Anyone knows that making sugar water, coloring it with paint and leaving it by the window isn't going to make candy rain from the sky. But after repeating that every day, one time when she got back from school, she found several pieces of candy scattered around the place. How happy must that miracle have made Maria-ne-chan. What good care she must have taken of those candies, savoring them during the nights alone with Saktaro, to distract herself from her loneliness. That magic which Maria-ne-chan had created was turned out, thrown away, and disappeared. The entire miracle of happiness created by magic, she tore out and threw away. Oh, this one's another classic. Magic to make dinner be cream croquettes. What's the next one? Magic to make bell peppers taste nice. This is amazing. Ridiculous. Tear that too. Why not tear it more and more forever? With a cruel-hearted loud laugh, the Black Witch made her tear out Maria-ne-chan's magics one after another. She sneered at those happy magics, ripped them out and threw them away. Stop it! Stop it! Don't defile it is Maria's magic. Don't defile it with your filthy toxin. Mammon cried and yelled, but she had no way of reaching Kazumi. Who cares? Why don't you just be defiled forever? Magic miracles? Magic to bring happiness? Doesn't exist. There's no such thing. Pain and suffering, you see, can only be healed by pushing them onto someone else. Now, you were what they would call a magic friend, right? Sumadera Kazumi, open to her page. What's this? Magic friends, it says. The 7 Sisters of Purgatory. That's a creepy name. It says that they can fly at awesome speeds and finish off the enemy for you. ENG, if you can use this kind of magic, shouldn't you use it right now? Stupid. The pages that wrote of the 7 Sisters of Purgatory were also artlessly torn away. The pages themselves were just paper. They weren't Mammon's vessels or anything. But the tearing, denying, toxin burned Mammon from the inside. Mammon's face twisted from the heat and pain.
大丈夫マモ
Are
ン
you okay, Mammon?
しっかり
Hang in there.
これくらい
I can't handle it.
私より
It's not me, but
エンジ様の
Angel
方
Sama
が
was in pain. However, Mammon's expression was twisted in an unbearable pain and
や
humiliation.
めろ黒き魔女
Stop it, Black
どう
Witch!
して君はそん
Why
な
are
こ
you
とを
doing
するんだ
something
よ
like
どう
this?
して
Why can't you use
魔
magic
法
for
を幸せ
happiness?
のために使えないんだよあ
Oh,
ああんた
you're
も
a
魔法
magic
の
friend
友
too,
達ね
right?
あんたも怪我してあげるわスマデラカスミ
Sumedera
こっちの
Kasumi,
ペー
look
ジ
for
も
this
探し
guy's
なさい
page too.
こっちは
What's
何
this one?
何この
What's
下手
with
く
this
そなライオン
crappy
の落
scribble of a
書き
lion?
サク太郎
Sakutaro?
変な名前
What a weird name.
一番大好
My
きなお
best
友
friend,
達
it
だって
says.
そうなの
Really?
これがあんたの
This
友
is
達
your friend, your close friend.
このライオンが
This lion, is it? Is it?
本当に
It really is a crappy scribble.
こんなブサイクな
This,
ライオンが
this,
あんたな
so
のね
this butt ugly lion is you.
こんなのお
To
友達
think
に
that
し
she
て
had
るなん
something
て
like this as
後
a
ろ宮マ
friend.
リアってこの
That
頭
Ushiro
の
Mia
かわい
Maria's
そう
kid
さに
is
呆れて
mine
へ
is
そでお茶
unbelievably
が
wretched.
入っちゃう
My sides are no, it's so unbelievably wretched. My sides are hurting. What a
へ
moron.
そ噛んで死んじゃ
Why
えば
don't you just give up and die forever?
うりゅマリアを
Make fun of
バ
Maria.
カにするなやめて
Stop
破かない
it.
で
Don't rip it.
ダメ
No way. There was a shrill tearing sound, and the page was filthily ripped out. The picture of Sakutaro that Onechan had drawn was violently ripped in half. What a shitty drawing.
お前たちも笑いなさい
You all laugh too. Obeying the pair, the black suits laughed cruelly and heartlessly trampled over the paper that had been torn and thrown away.
サクタロしっかり
Sakutaro, be strong.
僕は
I'm
しくなん
not
か
sad.
ないただ
I just can't
悔し
stand
い
it.
マリアのことを
Maria's being
バ
made
カに
fun
さ
of.
何も言えな
I
い
can't do anything about it.
悔し
I
い
can't stand it.
私たちは
To humans who can't see us, it is as though as we don't
私
exist.
たちは
We can only interact with humans
必
that
要とし
need
てくれ
us.
る人間としかだから
That's why we are for each other. As Sakutaro and Mammon supported each other, they slumped down, sobbing. I couldn't stand it either. Only those who can see the world of magic can understand how wonderful it is. It can't be explained to humans who can't understand. And so it is mocked. If only you could show it, but you can't, because in front of humans who are filled with the anti-magic toxin, and who can't understand magic, magic cannot be used.
本当にわけがわかんないわ
You don't get it.
この妄想
From this
に
delusional diary,
おかしいと
I've
しか
got to
思え
assume
な
that
い
there's something wrong with
あ
your
んたのお
head.
花畑の
It
頭の
really
中
is
が垣間見え
interesting
て
to take a
本
peek
当に
into
面
your
白いわ
happy-go-lucky little
気
mind.
持ち
You
悪
creepy
い
child.
あんたもマリア
You
も
and Maria.
そこのぬいぐるみと
And that
家具も
stuffed
ね
animal and the furniture over there too.
おか
You
しい
could laugh.
あんた
You don't have
友
any
達
friends, do
いない
you?
んでしょいっつも一
You're
人ぼっちで
always all alone.
ぬいぐるみがお
Stuffed
友達なんで
animals
しょ
are all your friends, right?
かわいそうな
What a
子
pitiable child.
大丈夫
Don't worry, I
私にもわか
understand.
るわ
I know what it's like to live that
だか
way.
ら私が認
So
め
I'll
て
be the
あげる
one to recognize you for what you
あん
are.
た
You really are
本
a
当
beautiful
に
little
かわいそう
child.
な子よ
So to you, she looks like a pitiful child. Yes, I'm sure she does. If 100 people were to read an agent's diary and grimoire, all 100 would probably get the same impression. I used to be one of them. But you know, in spite of all of that, Marioni agents still call this a world of happiness. Don't deny that magic, that happiness.
頑固な子ねあん
Such
た
a
は
stubborn child you are.
いいわ
Alright,
これ
fine.
で最後よ
This is the last one.
あんたとマリアの
I'll
信じ
tear
た
apart
本
the
当に
source
くだら
of the
ない魔法の
absolutely
根源を
ridiculous magic
引き
that
裂い
you
てあげ
and
るわ
Maria believed in.
スマデラかすみ
Suma-
その
Sumadera
ページを読み
Kazumi.
なさい
Read this page.
なに
Hmm?
このカラフ
Is
ルなペ
this
ージ
colorful
は
page?
なになに
Let's see.
大好きなマ
Magic
マと
to
いつまでも
Always
仲
be
良し
friends
でい
with
られる魔
Mama, who I
法
love.
やめて
No,
そのページ
not that page.
この魔法
This
すごく
magic is
簡単
really
じゃない
simple.
私でもすぐ
I
できそう
think
だよ
even I could do it without any practice at all.
こんなに短い呪文
Even if I can remember, even I can remember an incantation this short.
やってみようかし
Can
ら
I give it a go? It really is a short
本当
incantation,
に簡
isn't
単
it?
な呪文よねいいわよ
Alright, give it a try. Let's all
みんなも
burst
吹
it
き出
out.
しちゃうから
With an expression that ridiculed it from the bottom of their hearts, the Black Witch and Kazumi puckered their lips in the most exaggerated way they could, and said it out loud.
うんうん
The black suit stared blankly, asking what that was supposed to be. Then Kazumi answered, cackling.
これがね
This is supposed to be the incantation. Are you kidding me?
ほらあんたたちもやってみれば
Come on, why don't you guys try it too? The black suits imitated that moaning voice, making fun of it. Dio mio. Ooh, that was the incantation for the magic that would let her be always friends with Mama. With the Mama she loved.
何このバカ
What
み
is
たい
this
なの
stupidity?
う言うだけで家族仲が
If
良
you
く
could
なる
make
なら
family relationships
世界はず
better
っと
just by
平和
saying
だわ
ooh, we would have world peace forever.
バカなうなり声
Stupid moaning
こん
voice.
なの連呼し
If
て
you
た
do
ら
this over and
頭の
over
かわい
again,
そうなこと
people
を
are
思わ
going to
れる
think
の
you're
が
a
落
poor
ち
kid
よ
with mental problems.
バカじゃない
Non leggo.
やめろ、その魔法だけは
Stop. At least don't mock that magic. One day when Maria Onechan and Aunt buonanotte, Rosa. One day when Maria Onechan and Aunt Rosa had gone on to a picnic together, it was written that this was one of their 5 happiest days of her life. And Onechan was singing her mama a song that she had just learned from her. Onechan was happy to see that her mama was enjoying it very much, but partway through she forgot the lyrics. But her mama was enjoying it so much that she tried to sing until the very end. With ooh. She sang it with fake lyrics, but her mama was very pleased. After that, ooh remained as an incantation to remember that day that she spent in fun with happiness with her mama. Of course, even though Aunt Rosa thought it was funny at first, eventually she tired of hearing it, and later on started to scold Onechan whenever she said it. But to Onechan, it was a family of a fun day that she could never forget. So among the magics that Maria created, it was the oldest and the first. Kazumi stuck their fingernails into that page too.
やめて、破かないで。
Stop, don't tear it.
そのページだ
At
けは
least
許
spare
して。
that page.
ダメ。
No way. With a shrill sound, the girl's world of happiness was erased.
うーうーうー。これがあんたらの幸せ
Is
な魔
this
法
your
なわ
magic of
け？
happiness?
ちゃうわ。
Hilarious.
幸せになる魔法なんて
Why
ね、
would you
あるわけな
why
い
would
で
you
しょ。
ever think that magic could make people
魔
happy?
法はね、怒
Magic,
りとね、
listen now,
憎しみでで
is
き
made
て
of
るのよ。
anger and hatred.
幸せってのは
Happiness is
ね、
what you call the
自
feeling
分の
of
背負わ
release
された
you
憎
get
悪を
only
人
when
に
you
全
push
て
all of
押し付け
your
た時に
hatreds
の
you
み
bear
与え
onto
られる
someone else.
解放感を言うのよ。あんたたちの言う
The
幸せなん
happiness
て
you
絵
are all
本の中
talking
にしか
about
出
is a
てこない
phantom
まや
that
かし
doesn't
なの
show up
よ。
outside picture books. As Kazumi laughed her head off, she slammed the grimoire against the ground and stepped on it.
悔しい？
Can't stand
ね
it?
え、悔しい？
Well, can't stand it?
幸せの白き
You
魔
white
女さん
witches
た
of
ち。
happiness.
そんなに
If
悔
you
し
can't
かったら
stand
見
it
せ
that
てみれ
much,
ば？
why don't you show us?
あんたたちの魔法。
Show us your magic.
あるなら使ってみ
If
せ
it
ればいい
exists,
じゃない。
then you have to use it and show us,
魔
right?
法が使えない
A
魔
witch
女なん
that
て魔
can't
女じゃ
use
ない。
magic isn't a witch.
つまり本当の
So
魔女
we
は
are the
私た
real
ち。
witches.
あんたたちなんて
You are just
魔
brats
法の
trying
夢
to
で
escape
現実から
reality
逃
with a
避し
dream
て
of
いるだけ
magic.
のクソガキどもなのよ。
じゃあ
Then
魔法を私が見せ
I
るこ
can
と
show
がで
you
きたなら
magic. You will
お姉信じてくれる
believe
の？
in Onechan's magic. Huh? Oh yeah, oh yes.
信じる
I
わよ。
believe.
魔法を使って見
If
せ
you
ることが
can
で
use
きたなら
magic
ね。
and show me, that is.
ならやってみろよこのクソボケガキ。
Go on then, do it, you shit for brains, little brat. Silently, slowly, I stood up. The sensations of this small world, such as the pain in my body, felt truly insignificant.
あら、まだ立てる
Oh,
元気はあっ
looks
たの
like
ね。
you still got enough energy to
大
stand
魔女
up,
さ。
Miss Great Witch.
立ち上がって。
Now that
何
you
をしてみ
stood
せ
up,
るの？
what are you going to show us?
見せてみなさ
Go
いよ。
on, show us your magic.
魔法は
Magic
あるわ。
exists.
はあ？この子何を言い出すかと思えば。
What's this kid coming out with
あ
now?
んたたち。
Did you
今の
guys
聞い
hear
た？
that?
静かに。
Quiet.
へえ。
Isn't
面
that
白いじゃない。
interesting?
半魔法の
You
毒素
people
を
have
言い
always
に
declined to
あん
show
たた
this
ちはいつ
power
も
of
奇跡
miracle
の
because
力を
of the
拒んでき
anti-magic
た。
toxin.
白き魔女マリアの
Disciple
弟
of the
子。
White Witch
見
Maria.
せてみなさい
Try
よ。
showing
魔
your
法
magic.
を。 一体どれだけの
Do
人
you
間
have
が
any clues
そ
how
の
many
奇跡を信
humans
じて
have
裏切ら
believed
れ
in
て
the
いったか
miracle,
知っ
in
てい
that
る
miracle and been betrayed?
誰もが信じ
Every one of them believed.
誰もが裏切られて
Every
絶
one
望
of
し
them
た
was betrayed and despaired.
そして
And they all learned that true magic can only be
私
gained
た
by
ち
the
黒き
power
魔
of
女の
black
力でし
witches
か
like
得られ
me.
ないことを知るのよ憎しみを誰かにぶつけるのは
Taking your hatred out on someone else is nothing more than a
そんな
crime.
のは魔法じゃない
That isn't magic.
本当の魔法は
I'll show you what real
私が
magic
見せて
is. You. The black witch winced slightly. However, Kasumi sneered at me even more.
なら見せてごら
Show
んな
me,
さいよ
then.
それで
So,
あんたは
what
ど
kind
の
of
魔法を見
magic
せ
are
て
you
くれ
going
る
to show me?
飴玉を降らせ
Magic
る
to
魔
make
法
candy rain from the
それとも
sky?
ク
Or
ッキーを
else
増やす
magic to
魔
make
法
cookies multiply? The instant I opened my eyes, a tremendous wind arose.
何突然
What's this? All of a sudden,
さあさあ
come,
おいでな
arise.
さい
Seven sisters of
天国の七姉妹
Purgatory. There was a flash behind me, and in an instant 7 high-level furniture were gathered there. It was a power that far surpassed the magical power I had in my prime. It was a power that matched even Marionetchan and Beatrice.
煉獄の七姉妹ここに
Seven sisters of Purgatory, right here.
王子様あなたはかつて
You
言
said
っ
it
たわ
once.
私に魔力
Because I lacked
そ
magical
の覚
power
悟がない
and
か
resolve.
らあなたたちを
I
刺
could
激できなかった
I
わ
could not use you or your sisters.
私をいじめるクラス
This
メートに
isn't
仕
some
返しに
cheap
したいなんて
emotion like wanting to
そんな
get
安っ
back
ぽい
at my
感情じゃない
bullying classmates
私は
in
マリアお
order
姉
to
ちゃん
protect Marionetchans,
マリアージュ・ソルシエルの世界を
Mariage
守るために
Sorcier's world.
今こそ
I
魔法
now
の奇跡
order
を見せる
you
こと
to
を
show
命
me
令する
the
わ
miracle of magic.
無理です
It's
いくら
impossible.
なんでも
There's just no
これ
way.
だけ大勢
No,
の
with
読者
such
の
a
前で
mass of toxin in front of us. The seven sisters also remembered what had once happened in that classroom. If they could have obeyed Ange's order, they would have. However, surrounded by the toxin that runs thick in humans, they hadn't been able to display the miracle of magic. And they remembered very well how deeply that had hurt Ange. But Ange spoke very quietly.
Nera,
In that
あな
case,
たたちも信じて
you all believed too.
マリアージュ・ソルシエル
Mariage
は
Sorcière was
人を
created
幸
to
せに
make
するた
people
めに生
happy.
まれたそしてそれは
And also to find the
黒き
Black
魔女と
Witch.
戦うためでもあったその創立者の一人
The foolish Black Witch that denies the world created by one of the founders, the Witch of Origins, Lady
そ
Maria.
の奇跡を
In
見せ
order to
そ
show
の
her
世
that
界を守
miracle.
るために
And in order to protect that world, believe
魔法を
in magic,
魔女を
in witches,
今こそ
right now,
奇跡
in
を
the miracle. Kazumi gave an order to the black suits, and one of them took out a gun and pointed it at Ange.
魔法を見せて
You're
くれ
going
る
to
ん
show
で
us
しょ
magic,
な
right?
ら見せて
Then
ちょ
show
うだい
us, if you
魔
would.
法で火の
Use
玉で
magic
も
to
稲
shoot
妻
this
でも
man
打ち出
down
し
with
て
a fireball
こ
or
の男を
lightning or
倒してみせ
something.
なさいよチャンスは
You
1
got one
3
chance.
つ数える
Show
うちに
us
やって
before
み
I
せな
count
さ
to 3,
い
alright?
できなければ
If you can't,
覚
then
悟してもらう
you
わ
had
よ
best prepare yourself, okay?
撃ちなさいよ
Shoot me.
なんだこのガキ
What's with this kid?
行
He's
かれて
fucking
やる
crazy. The black suits pointing the gun laughed at Ange's composure.
本気
Are you serious?
こいつ
This girl's living in a cloud,
花が咲いてい
in
る
a cloud cuckoo land.
なら撃たれなさ
In
いよ
that case, get yourself shot. Why don't you die forever?
エンジ無理
Ange, it's impossible. You can't block bullets with magic.
いいえ
No,
何も恐れることはない
there's
わ
nothing to be afraid of.
私の魔法
To
は
my magic,
煉獄
the
の
seven
七姉妹
sisters of purgatory.
銃弾など
Bullets
物
are
とは違
nothing.
う
Are like nothing.
エンジ様
Mammon flustered by Ange's absolute trust. She would have loved to live up to that trust if only she could on that day as well. but she had been unable to do anything and she had hurt ANGE.
ガキめ
Little shit.
魔法が使
You
える
can
って
use
んなら
magic, huh?
早く見せて
Then
みや
cut
がる
and
ってん
show
だ
us already.
どうしたよ
What's the hold
早く
up?
魔法を
Show
見
us
せ
some
てみろ
magic
ってん
right
だ
now.
ほら
Come
遠慮
on,
はいら
no
ね
need
え
to
ぜ
hold back.
俺にパビョーン
Shut
と
up.
魔法ってやつ
Bless
を
me
お
with
見
some
舞いして
magic,
くれ
I
よ
dare ya. The black suits jeered at her, and ANGE simply concentrated her mind in silence.
撃っちゃえば
Just not shoot her and kill
撃ってみろ
forever.
って言ってるのよ向
She's
こう
even
は
telling you to shoot her. This kid's
こ
already
の子
lost her
恐怖で
mind
もう
from
頭
fear.
がどうかしてるんだわバイバイ
Bye bye,
エンジェ
ANGE-chan.
ちゃん天国で好きな
Go
だ
and
け
play
魔
with
女
play
ごっこ
witches
し
as
てな
much
さい
as you want in heaven.
撃て
Shoot her.
いいんです
You
よ
sure?
おうち
Shoot.
死ね
Die,
エンジ
ANGE.
ェやれるもんならやってみなさいよあんたの魔法を
Magic it up, brat, if you can. The black suits cocked the gun and sneering, he pulled the trigger. Gunshot rang and the world stopped. A red spray scattered and a chunk of flesh flew.
何をしてるの
What are you
マモ
doing,
ン
Mammon?
銃弾ごとき無粋な
You
石ころ
wouldn't let this foolish
Angel-sama
pellet of a
許すつもり？
bullet reach ANGE-sama. Lucifer had lined up the bullet perfectly with a single swing, and with a single swing had sliced it in two. And in the chest of the black suits who had apparently fired the gun, there was a hole as big as a fist.
たまには
Every once in a while,
私が一番
it's alright for me to go first, right? Half of Leviathan's body was covered in blood, and she wore a cold smile. Then slowly, the pitiful prey that she had brought down fell over. You pierced a human?
バカね
Idiot.
まだあんた信じて
Do
ない
you still not believe
私たち
in
の
our
兄貴の魔力
master magical power? Kidding me?
これだけの人
You,
間
you,
の前で
you manifested in front of
権限
this
した
many
っていうの
humans?
何
What was that? Kasumi and the rest were thrown into confusion. He certainly seemed to have fired the gun. However, he hadn't hit ANGE, and why was the person who fired instead?
これが
This
魔法
is magic.
見事よ
Great
レ
job,
ビアタン
Leviathan.
光栄の至り
I am most honored.
我らが主に逆
You
らう
foolish
愚かな
humans
人
who
間
dare
ども
oppose our master.
今こそ冷やせ
Now it is the time of judgment. Prostrate yourselves.
どうして人間の世界
You
に
shouldn't be able to bring magic into the world of humans.
魔法は見え
They
ない
shouldn't be able to see magic. They shouldn't be able to be touched by magic. How?
これが
Because this
本当の
is
魔
true
法だからよ
magic.
何を
What
し
are
て
you
るの
people
よお前
doing?
殺せ
Kill her! Kill her! One of the black suits who had finally come to his senses pulled his gun, aimed.
我らが
Did
主
you think I'd
銃口を
overlook the
覗かせる
disrespect
プ
of
レイ
pointing a gun to a
私
master?
が許すと思ったか死ね
Die. Those words were his funeral. The man had already been stuck through the chest by Lucifer, who had become a stake of pride in an instant. Thump! The sound of a second person falling brought it home to the black suits and that their lives were unmistakably in peril. Help! Help! Almost paralyzed with fright, the man turned on his heels in an attempt to escape from that place, and in an instant the stake of sloth.
我が主への狼藉に
Painful
対する
that this is the
報い
only recompense
こ
for
れ
your
式で済
violence
んだ
against
こと
our
に感
master.
謝せよ死ね
A hole as big as a walnut opened in his right eye, his head split. Belphegor was sprayed with blood, and her face twisted demonically with the joy of being able to use her full power. Who's there? Where are you? The black suits panicked, pointing their guns in every direction, but they didn't understand what was happening. They only knew that something terrifying was coming from them from somewhere. But they didn't know where. Idiots! The enemy is right in front of you! The witch's furniture is after you! But they couldn't see. Because they couldn't believe in magic, they could not see. Just as this black witch said, Satan was standing boldly right in front of the black suits. However, the black suit couldn't see that at all. You think humans could see our forms? Perceive us? You stupid humans. Time to pay your foolish compensation for forgetting your awe of magic. What's this? What's going on? You cannot see because you have no love. There are so many humans here, the anti-magic toxin is everywhere. How can you manifest your magic? What are you? A witch, and unlike you, a real one. Damn you, you bitch! As though announcing his candidacy for the fourth victim, one of the black suits pointed his gun at ENG, and he pulled the... ENG glared at him coldly and simply ordered, "Fucking die!" Next, Satan. Satan the Wrathful, already right here. Slowpoke! You think a simple bullet could hit ENG-sama or any of us now? The stake of wrath pierced and smashed the bullet fired by the black suits and continued straight on towards the man's face. Know your foolishness and regret it in hell. Die! With a terrible explosive sound, the upper half of the man's head was smashed. Bathed in scattered flesh and blood, ENG quietly asked one more time. So, Aunt Kasumi, do you still not feel like believing in magic? It's crazy. This can't be real. Don't accept it. There's no way magic is real. That's right. There's no way magic exists. There's no way witches exist. Magic exists. Witches exist. Who are you? Yes. Magic exists. Witches exist. And in this world filled with anger and sadness, you can make them into the key that opens the door of a door to a world of happiness. I won't let someone like you deny that. Everyone holds the key to a world of happiness in the palm of their hand, and no one has any right to steal that away. You poor humans who cannot understand this. If there had been magic in your life, you would have surely been different and much more peaceful. Not once in your entire life were you able to meet with a true witch, and for this, I pity you. Kasumi let out a piercing scream. At the same time, the two remaining black suits came at me at once and thrusted their guns against my head, like they were trying to use me as a hostage against something their eyes couldn't see. Against the 7 Sisters of Purgatory high-level furniture who had reached to the level of weapons, this was completely and totally pointless. Damn it. You don't stop attacking and this bitch is dead. Show yourself. What's this guy on about? And his guts look so tasty too. ENG-sama, leave the next one to me. Go ahead, kill him. I'm so very thankful. Basta, devo smettere, sto giocando col telefono. Mannaggia la mia voglia di toccare cose. I'm so very grateful. I'm so very grateful. Die. The man's chest split and his guts poured out. This terrible way of dying threw the other man in total panic. However, Asmodeus' form was already at his back, embracing his neck with her arm and smiling obscenely. What a cute kid. Hey, where do you want me to pierce you? Ange-sama, do you have any
ご希
preference?
望はございますか？
頭
Head.
かしこまりました。
Certainly, my
我が
master.
主死ね。
The final black suit had his head smashed by the stake of lust, and his insides scattered. He twisted and fell. In that gruesome world where 6 people lay in a sea of blood, witch and human confronted each other.
スマデラかすみ
Sumadera
そ
Kasumi,
なたの哀れな
I
る人生
sympathize with your pitiful life from
私
the
は心の底
bottom
より
of
同
my
情す
heart.
るその無
I
名
can
に
give
心
you
の
magic
穴を
to seal up that
塞ぐ魔
unfillable
法を
hole
授
in
けて
your
みよ
heart.
うそなたは
If you believe
そ
in
の魔
magic,
法を
that
信
is.
じるなら
It's so ridiculous. This is. I won't accept this. As Kazumi slowly retreated backwards, scared out of her wits, she picked up a handgun that someone had dropped, then shakingly pointed it at ENG.
そうよ、かすみ。
That's right,
そ
Kazumi.
の銃で撃ちなさい。
Shoot her with that
あんた
gun.
の憎しみを
Turn your hatred into a bullet and shoot. I'll kill you. I'll kill you.
あんたを殺さなきゃ。
If I don't kill you, my life will go unrewarded.
そうよ、殺して。
Yes, kill her. Pull the trigger.
あいつに
Take all of your anger and pain from your shabby life until now.
全部叩きつけてや
Use
る
it
の。
all against her.
そうでなきゃ。
If you don't, you won't be released from your pain and anguish.
やめてか
Stop
す
it,
みおばさん
Aunt
黒
Kasumi.
き魔女
You
に耳を
mustn't
貸して
lend
は
an ear to the Black Witch.
殺してやる。殺してや
Kill
る。
you.
あんたの
Because
母
of your
親のせい
mother.
で私
My
の人
entire
生は
life
めちゃくち
has been a wreck.
なら
Then maybe,
私の
starting
魔
now,
法
bit by bit,
その人
you
生を
can
こ
turn
れか
that
ら
life into something
少し
bright
ず
and
つ
peaceful
明るく穏や
with
かな
my
ものに
magic.
できるかもしれないあなたが魔法を
If
信
you
じ
simply believe in magic
心
and
を
have
入
a
れ替え
change
さ
of
えすれば
heart,
あなたに
you can open the
新
door
しい
to a
世界
new
の
world
扉を
for
開
you.
い
そんなものはない
There's
わ
no
あい
such
つの
thing.
救い
The
なんて
salvation she
どうせ
speaks
お
of
とぎ
is
話の中だけよ
obviously just a fairy tale.
あんたの人生は
Your
も
life
はや
is
死ぬ
already
まで
covered
棘まみ
with
れ
thorns until you
その
die.
苦痛の
Let
叫
her
びを
hear
あい
your
つに
cries
聞
of
かせて
agony.
みなさい失ったものは
You can
何も取り
regain
返せない
anything
の
that
よ
was lost, right?
そうでしょスマデラカスミ
そうね
Yes. That might
何も
not.
取り返せないかもしれない
Yes, you might not be able to regain anything, but I'm sure you can create
新しく何
something.
かを生み出すことができるだからかすみおばさん
Aunt
そ
Kasumi,
の銃を捨て
throw
て
that gun
か
away.
すみおばさんに
I might be able to teach you a world of happiness too. You don't know.
あんたの母親
Because
が
of
逃
your
げたせい
because your mother ran
あ
away.
んたの
I
母親
was
の
forced to
言い出し
marry her fiance as a substitute.
結婚させられたのよ将来を
You
誓い合
know,
った男
I
がい
had
た
a
の
man
よ
who promised to spend his life with me.
別れさせられた
You
の
know,
よ
I was forced to break up with him.
の母
You
親の
think you
代わり
understand how I felt when I was made
話
to
も
wed
ろく
in
に
your
したことが
mother's
ない
place?
男とちぎ
I
りを
was
交わさ
forced
せ
to
られた私
consummate
に
a
は
marriage
それ
with
だ
a
け
man
の
I had barely even talked to.
殺してやりた
I
かっ
wanted to kill her,
たなのに
but Nathan just
スー
went
さんは勝
and
手に
died
死
on
ん
her
だ
own.
だからあん
That's
たを
why I'm going
殺
to
すの
kill you.
そうでなきゃ
Otherwise, my
私の焦げま
thorn-covered
みれの
life
人
will
生も終わ
never
らない
end.
のよ
From Kazumi's eyes, frenzied tears dripped down. This poor woman, even she had such clear and beautiful tears. But for that very reason, she hadn't been able to withstand her sad pain, and had no choice but to listen to the Black Witch's temptation.
かわいそうに
I feel so sorry for
なら
you.
ばせめてあ
In
な
that
たを
case, the least I can
あな
do
た
is
の
to
魂を
forever
永遠
release
に
you
解放し
from your and your
連鎖の
soul
鎖から
from
解
the
き放
bonds
って
or resentment.
それが
That might be
Imano
the
no
only bit of
desu.
charity I can give
唯
you
一の
now.
施しかもしれない
死ねー後ろにあるんじゃ
さようならかすみおばさん
Goodbye, Aunt
静かな世界
Kasumi. Take a long rest in a quiet world. I no longer feel any anger or hatred towards you. I just want to let your soul rest in peace. Kazumi handgun spat fire. Slowly, that bullet continued through a world frozen to the utmost limit, making its way towards Ange's forehead.
マモン
Mammon. Yes,
強欲のマモン
Mammon, the covetous, right here.
ありがと
Thanks.
うあなたたちとサ
It
ク
was
タロウに
because
出
I
会え
met
たか
you
ら
and Saktaro that I was able to understand everything.
エンジェサクタロウは後ろを向いていな
Look
さい
away, Saktaro.
マモン
Mammon,
その女を解放
release
してあげ
that
て
woman
そして
and protect the honor
マリ
of
アージュソ
Mariage
ルシエル
Sorcier.
の名誉を守れはい
Yes,
覚悟せよスマデラ
tell
カスミ
yourself, Sumadera Kazumi. Even though the world was frozen, the stake of greed flashed like lightning. And it was already through Kazumi and out the other side.
貴様に多少の得があるなら
If you possess the slightest
再び煉獄の山
virtue, you shall have an audience again on the Mountain of Purgatory. The upper half of Sumadera Kazumi's head shattered. Her cage of flesh was broken and she was finally released. It's just you,
黒き魔女
the Black
今
Witch.
となっては
At this point,
あ
I
なた
feel
に
bad
エヴァ
for
おば
even
さんの
seeing
面
a
影を見ている
resemblance
こ
to
と
Aunt
さえ
Eva in you.
私の姿が未だに
If
後ろ宮エ
my
ヴァに見
form
えてい
still
るなら
looks like Ushiromiya
それ
Eva,
はあんたの
that
中
means
で
that you still
未
haven't
だ
been
に
able to
私が許
forgive
せて
me
ないというこ
inside
とだ
yourself.
わ分かっているのよ
I
エンジ
understand,
ェあん
Angel.
ただって
You also
トゲま
want
み
to
れ
be
の人
released
生
from
か
your
ら解放された
thorn-covered
くて仕
life
方
more
が
than
ないの
anything.
なら
In that case,
面
I
白い
thought
こ
of
とを思い
something
ついたわ
interesting.
私も
I'll show you
あんたに
my
魔法を見
magic
せ
as
てあげる
well.
あんたを殺すの
I
は
won't
私
be
じゃない
the
わ
one to kill you. With the worst smile on her face, the Black Witch changed her form into something like a black mist, or else a vast swarm of black flying insects which began to swirl around me. Then that black mist began to mass, bit by bit, sharpening itself into the form of a
何なの
human.
ね
What's this supposed to be?
うすうすは想像
I
がつい
think
て
you
るくせ
know
に
very well
あん
what
たが最も憎
the
み
woman you hated and
Miranda.
despised the
そ
most.
して女も
The woman hated and
あなたを
despised you the
最も
most as
恨
well. When the black mist cleared, there was... over there was Aunt Eva's form, as she had been while alive. In her hands, she was holding a gun.
エヴァおばさんは
Aunt Eva died.
お久しぶりね
Long time no see,
あん
Angel.
たを
I've
殺すため
returned
に
from hell to
地
kill.
獄から戻ってきたわよ
Aunt Eva glared at me, laughing
で
madly.
もあまり驚か
And
ない
I'm not that
エ
surprised.
ヴァおばさん
Aunt
そう
Eva
いう
that
人だった
was
し
that kind of person.
私のお葬式は
I imagine my
さぞや
funeral
気分
cleared
が
your
晴れ
mood
晴れ
up
したで
quite
しょ
a bit, didn't it?
私も晴れ
It
晴
did
れ
it
し
for
てい
me
た
too,
わよ
because I meant that I
あ
never
んた
had
の
to see
面
your
を二度
face
と見な
again.
くて済むようになるんだからねでも
But I did
たった
have
一つだ
just
け心
one
残りがあったわ
regret.
それがこれよ
This is it.
私を
Killing me?
殺すことそれが最後の遺
Was
言だっ
that
た
your
の
last request? How pitiful. Even after my death, Aunt wasn't released from her suffering.
黒き魔女の力こ
It
そ
was the Black Witch's
私の魔
power
法
that
の
was the
源泉だ
source
った
of
の
my magic.
怒りと憎しみが
Anger and
私に
hatred
努
taught
力
me
と
how
不
to
屈を
work
教えて
hard
くれ
and
た
persist.
それはあんたの言う
Completely different
現
from the
実逃避の魔法とは
escape it
全く違うの
magic that you speak of.
あんたの言う魔法
Magic
なんて
you speak of is nothing
た
more
だの
than
八つ
stress
当たりによる
reduction
ストレ
through
ス解消
outbursts
だ
of
わ
anger.
私たちの魔法は
But
違う
magic is different.
世界そのものを作り
It
変え
can
る
remake the entire
あ
world.
んたの性悪魔法と
It's
は
it's of a
全く
completely
違う
different class than your ill-natured magic.
なら
In that case,
黒
I'll
と白の
settle
ど
it
ちらが
here
勝
once
つか
and for all.
この場で
Which
決
comes
着を
out
つけて
on
あ
top,
げる
black or white?
死してなお
By my
黒き魔
black
法で
magic,
復
I have
活して
performed a
あんたを
miracle
こう
that
し
has
て
allowed me
重
to
厚で
revive
狙え
and
る
point a
私
gun
の
at
奇
you
跡
like this, even after
あ
death.
んたの白き魔
What
法
kind
は
of miracle will your
どんな
white
奇跡
magic
で
fight
対抗
back? I have taken you in amongst the anti-magic toxin. You won't be able to call the seven sisters anymore. That miracle just now won't occur again. But it will, regardless. That's the reason it's called magic. Alright, Mammon, lend me your power. But Mammon didn't respond. She didn't appear. Certainly, as she had said, the anti-magic toxin had burned everything up like a wasteland parched by a blazing sun. This might be a little tough. It's useless to call out. Never again will the seven sisters of purgatory answer you. Like I said, I can call them anyway. That's what makes it magic, right? You're a sad child, Angel. So long. The simple days we spent together were reasonably fun. This is goodbye. Must be nice for you that this was your final stop. Yeah, totally. That's very thoughtful of you. Thanks. Then, this is farewell. The barrel of the gun rose slowly and so that you could see all the way down to it, and the trigger was slowly. Then there was a loud bang from the gun. Not in the sense that it fired, it exploded. You're kidding me. In shock inside the frozen space, Eva looked at the exploded gun. When time unfroze, the fragments would probably mash into her face all at once. Mammon, the covetous. Right here. You're kidding me. Behind Eva's back, Mammon stood. She had already penetrated the target and I had given her, which was the gun. Is this enough magic for you, Aunt Eva? Then time unfroze. Fragments of the raptured gun and gunpowder gas burned her face. Letting out a shrill scream, she rolled around covering her face. It was pitiful. Unlucky. This is game over, Aunt Eva. I signaled to Mammon to free Eva quickly from her pain as she withered around with her burned face. Thank you, Mammon. I'd like to apologize again, now from the bottom of my heart, for calling you all powerless on that day in the classroom. You were excellent furniture for protecting witches. It is I who should be grateful. I truly feel honored to have been able to meet a good witch and a good master in the end, and to have the opportunity to fulfill my duty as furniture. Mammon understood this would be the final job I would ever give her. Mammon quickly walked close, then she looked down upon her. Aunt Eva, thank you for sticking with me until today. This is farewell. Have a nice dream. See you in hell. Then the light sound of her forehead being perforated rang out. The battle of gunpowder smoke, delirium, and white and black magic was over. Felt like it had been a long, truly long journey, and the world slowly sank into darkness. The stars that should be sparkling lay not in the sky but were scattered beneath me. When I recognized that the pearls and rubies were creating a river of white and red, I realized that it was a vast nighttime scene that was spread out below me. I was in the sky of that nighttime scene, neither standing nor flying, but simply floating in air. From nowhere in particular I could hear the sound of a person clapping. A truly dull applause. I understood. It was the one who ordered me to go through this journey, their castle. Congratulations, endless witch, ANGE BEATRICE. At the end of your travels, you understood everything about magic. Yes, I now understand everything about magic.
私は
I
魔
am
女よ
a witch.
マリアージュ・ソルシ
The
エルを生
last
み出し
witch
た
who inherited
魔
the
法世
magical
界を
world
継承した
created by Maria
最後の魔
Sorcier.
女
あなたにしか
No one besides you can tear Beatrice's world to pieces.
魔法を知るからこそ
And it was through coming to
それに
know magic
抵抗も
that
覚
I
える
learned also how to resist it.
魔法は
Magic is made of
愛と
love
悲
and
しみと
sadness
怒
and
りでできてい
anger.
るベアトリーチェ
No
が
matter how
どんなに
cruel
残
a
酷
witch
な魔女であった
Beatrice
と
might
して
have
も
been,
その魔法の
the
源泉は
source of
全
her
く同
magic
じ
is exactly the same.
だからこそ
That's why,
彼女
honestly,
もその
I
世
wish
界
I
を
could leave that world of
本
hers
当はそっ
alone.
としてあげたい少なくとも
After all, in her
彼女に
eyes
とっ
at
てその
least,
世界
that world is
完
complete
成し
as
てい
it
るのだ
is.
から
あなたが家族を諦められるな
You'll
ら
have to give up on your own family.
そう
That's right.
だから申し訳ないけれど
So although I feel bad
私
about
は
it,
戦わなけれ
I
ばな
have
らな
to
い
fight.
家族を取り戻せる
Because
か
the
もしれ
very
ない
reason I left on
わず
this
かな確
journey
率に
to
かけて
become a
魔
witch
女となる旅に
was
出
so
たの
that
だ
I
から
could bet on a small probability that I could take my family back.
ベアトリーチェを殺せない
Unless you
限り
kill Beatrice,
あなたには
only
孤独な世界しか
worlds
存
of
在しない
isolation can exist for you. As one who has traveled through billions of fragments, I can
私
guarantee
に保
it.
証する
分かってるわ
I
同情
understand.
してる余地
I
ない
don't have room for
心を
compassion.
鬼にして
I must
彼女
make
の
my
心を
heart a demon and
切り
tear
裂
her
かなく
heart
てはなら
to
ない
pieces.
その気持ちが
It
揺る
is
がない
good
の
that
が
you are
よかった
steady in your resolve.
同じ魔女
I
です
was worried that, as another witch like her, you might grow attached and lose your will to continue. Coming from a person like her, whose face was always expressionless, those words felt a bit hollow. Berncastel, the enigmatic witch who invited me on this journey.
私
There
あ
were
なたが
moments
嘘を
where I
ついてたんじゃ
suspected
ないか
that you
と
might have been
疑ってたこと
lying
があっ
to
た
me.
わ
どうして
Why?
私は
I am
1998
the
年
ENG
の
of
演者
1998, so
家族を
even if
救っても
I save my family,
そ
the
れは
one who will bring
1986年の演者が
that will
救われる
bring
だけ
relief to the ENG of
この
1986.
私が救われ
You
るわ
won't
け
do
じゃない
anything for me.
だから騙され
So
て
I
いると思ってい
sometimes
たことが
feel
ある
like I was being deceived.
その通
That is
り
correct.
私はあなたを
I did
騙した
deceive you,
でも
but now
今は
I'm
感謝してる
grateful.
だって
After
あな
all,
たは私
in the
に
end, you did teach me
家族の
the
取り
way
戻
to
し
take
方
my
を
family back.
私は何も教え
I
てない
didn't teach you anything.
それを知ったので
If you have come to know that, it's a state of
あなたが魔女
understanding
と
that
して
you
自
reach
ら
on
い
your
た境
own
地
as a witch.
それは私のそれとは違う境地私に理解はできないけれど
That place you have reached is different from mine, and I myself cannot comprehend it. But if it is as you say, then congratulations.
私はこの
I'm
ゲーム
not
の
a
プレ
player
イ
in
ヤー
this
では
game,
な
but a
くあなたは
piece.
私に
You
言ったわ
said this to me, right?
で
Yes,
言った
I did.
その役割を
Now I fully
今こそ完
understand
全に
that
理解した駒に
a
感
piece
情はい
doesn't
らない
need
ただ
emotions. You just
勝
have
利
to
のた
give
めに
its all for the
最善を
sake
尽
of
くせばい
victory.
い
Yes,
その通り
that is exactly
ゲ
right.
ームは最
A
善手
game
を
is
差
where
し
you
合う
each
もの
make the best possible move, right?
躊躇や戸
If you
惑い
allow your
さして
moves
お
to
か
get
しくしてくる
distorted by
対
hesitation
戦
and
相手も混
indecision,
乱する
your opponent will be confused as well. Sorry, Beatrice, but don't hold it against me. Shiromi ANGE still needs their family, so I have the right to fight you so that I can take them back. And you have the responsibility to accept my challenge, so please don't hold it against me. In exchange, if you do win at this game, I'll give you my blessing as well. Now let's go. As the peace I am, it's finally time for my true turn. Sorry, Beatrice. I can't hand over Onichon to you. The world whitened. It wasn't white, it was the blindingly bright color of gold. That place was the beautiful Ushiromiya family rose garden. However, the roses were all gold. The nectar was also golden. The butterflies gathering there were gold as well. This is the Golden Land. The promised land that the witches of Mariage Sorcière would ultimately be guided to. There all wishes come true and all magic and dreams come into being. In that garden of gold roses, there were two, and only two, witches. At my uninvited appearance, the atmosphere trembled with unrest. What was to them an ominous wind shook the golden roses. The incredibly beautiful scene formed by the golden rose petals scattered in the wind, and was without a doubt something not of this world. The two who have been taking a walk through the rose garden, golden roses, noticed me and reacted in surprise.
ENG?
Beato, it's ENG.
どうやってここへ
How did you get in here?
引き取られよ
Leave us
わら
alone.
わ
I no longer
を
invite
ここへは誰も
anyone.
招かぬ
Beato spoke coldly. She seemed like a completely different person from the boldly sneering woman she had once been. She had closed her heart off and shut herself up in a world where she was alone with Maria-Onechan. A world where she could always be alone with friendly Maria-Onechan, conversing about magic while drinking tea. The one to hurry them and nothing to hold them back. No one to hurry them and nothing to hold them back. Yes, the two of them. To the two of them, that was a small and complete universe.
悪いわね
I'm sorry, I can't have you shutting yourself up in here.
私たちは
The game
あん
won't
たが
move
戻ってこない
unless you come
ゲームが
back.
進まないの
わらわは飽きたから
I
や
said
め
I
た
was
ぞ
tired of it and I'm done with it.
もうゲームに
I
は
will
戻
not
らない
return to the game anymore.
ベアトはね
Beato is
ずっ
going
と
to
ここ
be
で
here
マリア
all
と
the
一緒
time
にい
with
る
me.
のここで一緒に
We'll
お
drink
茶を飲
tea
んでね
together and
い
think
ろ
of
いろな
lots
遊びを考える
and think
の
of lots of ways to play.
エンジも一緒に
You
遊
can
んで
play
いいん
with
だ
us
よ
too, Angel.
マリ
Yeah.
それはならな
We
い
decided against
わらわ
that.
はそな
As
ただ
long
け
as
が
I
いれ
have
ば
you, I am satisfied.
だからそな
Tell
たわら
me
わだけがいればいい
that you too are satisfied as long as you have me.
ありがとう
Thank you.
マリアをそこま
The
で
only
必要
person
と
who
して
needs
くれ
me
る人
that
は
much is you.
ベアトだけだなら
So
ベア
I'll
ト
be
と
with
一緒
you.
にいる二人きりでいい
Just us is enough.
マリ
Maria, thank you.
アありがと
I am grateful. Beato held Maria tight, even created a small, warm universe within their joined arms. It was probably the birth of the smallest universe in the world. Smaller universe in the world which a pair who just needed each other could create. No matter how small it was, the world was complete. But I have to tear it apart.
悪いけど
I'm
そう
sorry,
いうわけに
but
は
I
いかな
can't
い
let things be that way.
私はこの
I came to
マリアー
smash
ジ
this
するシエ
golden
ル
land
の
of
黄金鏡を
Mariage Sorcière.
なぜわら壊すのか
Why would you break my world?
この世界
Who has this world
わら
inconvenienced
わとマ
outside
リア以外
Maria
の
and
誰に
myself?
迷惑をかけたというのか
あんたが初めて
This game that you started and then walked away from without
お
finishing
兄ちゃんがずっ
is
と待たさ
keeping
れてる
Onichan waiting
あ
forever.
んたが席に戻らな
You
くちゃ
don't want to return
勝
to
負
your
は
seat.
永遠に終わ
The
らない
match
の
will
よ
never end.
あのゲームに
There is no longer even a single
プレイヤー
player
は一
in
人も
that
おらぬ
game.
わバトルは消え
Butler vanished, and he came here and vanished as well.
ここあのゲームはもはや
That
終わった
game
の
is already over.
終わってない
It's not
あんたの
over.
始めたゲ
You
ームでしょ
started that game, didn't
最後
you?
まできっちり
Take
責
proper
任を持って終わら
responsibility
せな
and
さ
see
い
it through to the very
バ
end.
トラーを打ち負かし
Either defeat
あなたが
Butler
本当に望んだ
and
世界を生
give
み出
birth
す
to
か
the world you truly wish
あなたが
for,
打ち負か
or
さ
be
れ
defeated and
あな
release
たの魔
everything
法に飲み
swallowed
込まれ
up
た
by
全
your
てを
magic.
解放するかしっかり最後まで責任を取りなさい
Take responsibility until the very end.
ダメだよエンジ
Don't,
ベアト
Angel.
はこの世界で
Beato will spend
マ
their
リアと
time
永
in this
遠
world
に
with
二人き
me,
りで過ごすの
just as the two of us together. Just the two of us together for all eternity.
マリアも
And I don't need anyone else either, as long as I have
ここ
Beato.
では全ての願いが叶
All wishes come true
う
here.
全てがある
Everything is here. This golden land is made up of nothing more than the crystallization of Maria-Onechan and Beato's thoughts and feelings. To drag Beato out of this world, I have to destroy it. Destroy this golden land, which must be the final world of peace for Beatrice.
お姉ちゃん
Onechan,
それは違う
that's wrong.
この黄金鏡は嘘つきだわ
Onechan, that's wrong. This golden land is a lie.
お姉ちゃんの
It
本
hasn't
当に叶え
guaranteed the
たい
one
願
wish
い
you
を
truly
叶え
wanted
て
to
くれ
have
てい
come
ない
true.
そんなことないよ。
That's not true.
ここでは何でも
Everything
叶うの。
everything is granted here. Look,
ここには優
there's
しい
even a
マ
nice
マ
mama
がいる。
here. Golden butterflies gathered behind Maria, forming into a kindly smiling Aunt Rosa. And after smiling sweetly at me, she softly became golden petals and crumbled.
ここでは何だって生み出せるの。
Anything can be created here.
エンジだって生み出せる
Even
よ。
you can be, and Butler, and Giorgio Nichan, and Jessica Nichan.
ジェシカお姉ちゃんだっていくらでも呼び
You
出せる
can
よ。
summon as many as you want, and everyone is
エン
nice.
ジもおいで
You
よ。
come to
Ishi
Angel,
ni
let's
asobo.
play together. I'm sorry, Onechan.
作太郎
What about Saktaro? Upon hearing Saktaro's name, Onechan's face looked like she was choking. Stop it.
それを口に
Do
する
not
な
speak that name. Miato's expression changed as well, and she put her arm around Maria, hugging her, as if to protect her. Saktaro's name was still taboo for Onechan.
どうして口にしちゃ
Why
いけな
can't
い
I say
の
it?
マリアお姉ちゃんの
It's this name
一
of
番の
Maria
親友
Nechan's
の名
best
前
friend.
どうしてその親友
Why
を
won't you
この
invite
素敵
that
な
close
黄金鏡
friend
に
to
招い
this
てあげない
wonderful
の
golden land?
どうしてこの何でも
Why
願
in
いの
this
叶う
golden
黄金
land
鏡
where
で
all
は
wishes
作
come
太郎だけ呼び
true
出
is
すことがで
Saktaro
き
the
ない
only one you can't summon? It's
それ
because
は良いのだぞ
it's alright, Maria. You don't have to remember Saktaro.
サク太郎は
It's
ママに
my
殺さ
mama.
れたんだよ。
Maria Onechans flew high in a rage with a terrible expression on her face. Surprised by that voice, butterflies flew up throughout the garden, blowing around like a typhoon of flowery petals.
知っ
Yes,
てるわ
I
ロ
know.
ーザおばさんが
Aunt Rosa took your precious stuffed
大切な
animal
サク太郎
Saktaro
のぬい
and
ぐる
tore
み
him
を
apart. Maria's scream became a storm and violently scattered the golden petals and leaves. It was truly a storm of gold.
やめよ
Stop!
やめよやめよやめよ
Stop, stop,
なぜ
stop!
マリアの
Why are
心
you
の
trying
傷
to
を
reopen the wound
再
in
び引き
Maria's
裂こうと
heart?
するのかわらわとマリア
Don't defile the sleep
大切
of
な
a
親友
dear,
の眠り
precious
を汚す
friend
な
to both Maria and myself.
なら
In that
どう
case,
して
why won't you
その
revive
大
that
切な
precious
親友を
friend for her with your magic?
ができるものならや
I
ってい
would
る
have if I could.
しかし
But that stuffed animal was an article Rosa created herself.
そのたった一つ
The magic
引き裂かれ
meaning
た
of
魔法
that
的意
unique
味は
object being torn apart is
ごまかさないで
you aren't fooling
ど
anyone.
うしてサク太郎を
Why
蘇
can't you
らせられ
revive
ない
Saktaro?
答えは一つだ
There's only one
あな
answer.
たが
It's because you
本
aren't
当
a
の
real
魔女じゃ
witch.
ないからよ蘇らせられると
I most certainly can revive him.
わらわの魔
With
法
my magic, I can revive
いくらで
him,
もこうして
revive him
蘇ら
as
せら
often
れる
as I
と
want, like this.
サク太郎でこ
I
の
can't
庭
even
園を
bury
埋
this
めること
garden
だっ
with
てできる
Saktaros.
ええ
Yeah, I bet you
できる
could
でしょ
with
う
your
ね
magic.
でも
But Onechan
あなたが
definitely
生み出
won't
した
be able to
サク太郎は
see the Saktaros
決
you
してお
create.
姉ちゃんには見えないどうしてか分かって
But
る
you
でしょ
know, you know, right? You know why,
もう
right?
一度言う
I'll say it
あな
again.
たが本
It's
当の魔
because
女
you
でないから
aren't
な
a
の
real
よ
witch.
やめて。
Stop it.
どうしてエンジは
Why
そ
you
んな
keep
ひどい
saying
ことば
such
かり言う
mean
の？
things, Ange?
ベアトはたくさん魔
Beato
法
can
が
use
使
a
える
lot
よ。
of magic.
とても素敵
She's
な
a
魔女だ
very
よ。
wonderful witch.
サク太郎だけは蘇らせられ
Saktaro
な
was
か
the
った
one
け
thing
ど
she couldn't
他
revive,
のことな
but
ら
she can
何
do
だってで
anything
きるの。
else.
だから
So
サク太郎
I
だ
can
けは
put up with
できるの。
not having Saktaro.
ううん
No,
お姉ちゃ
Onechan,
ん
that's wrong.
魔女にできないこ
There's
となんて
nothing
な
a
い
witch can't
それができない
do.
時
As long
点
as
で
she couldn't do
ベア
that,
トリーチェは
Beatrice
本当の魔女じゃないわ
Beatrice was not a real witch.
それは違うよ。
That's
サク
wrong.
太郎のよりしろ
It's
のぬいぐる
because
み
Saktaro's stuffed
はママ
animal
の手
vessel
作
was
り
something
の
Mama
特別な
made
もの
by
だから
by hand herself,
だ
and
から蘇らせら
that's
れな
why
い
she can't revive
ベア
him.
トリーチェの
Is Beatrice?
あなたの魔
Is
法
your
はそ
magic
んなにも
that
不便だ
inconvenient?
ならばそなたならサク太郎蘇ら
In
せら
that
れると
case,
いうのか
do you claim that you can revive Saktaro?
そなたの魔法ならば
Can you
そ
do
れが
that
で
with
きる
your
というのか
magic?
できるわ
I can.
マリアお姉ちゃん
Maria-chan,
私が
I'll
本
show
当の
you
魔法
some
を見せ
real
てあげるわ
magic.
私が
revive
サクタロを
Saktaro
蘇
for
らせ
you.
てあげる。
本当
Really?
ベアトリーチェも
Even
できなかったん
Beatrice
だ
couldn't
よ
do that, you know?
本当
Can
に
you really?
ええ、できるわ。
Yes, I can.
その代わり
In
約束して
exchange, promise me.
私が
Once
サクタロを
I've
蘇
revived
らせてあげる。
Saktaro,
この黄金鏡
leave
から
this golden land.
そんなことは
Will
許さ
not
ない。
permit that.
わらはマ
This
リアの世
world
界。
is Maria is Maria and mine
マリア
together.
がいなくなったら
Maria
壊れて
leaves,
しまう。
it will break. The minimum amount of humans it takes to create a universe is 2. If that breaks down, the world is destroyed. To drag out the witch who shut herself away in the Golden Land, I have to destroy this
そう
world.
それこそが
Yes, and that is
あなたが
true
魔女で
proof.
ない証拠
And
よ。
that is the proof that you are not a
本
witch.
当の魔女な
A
ら
real witch can create a
宇宙を
universe
一人で
alone.
生み出せるのよ。マリアージュ・ソルシエル魔女同盟。
The Mariage Sorcière Alliance of
この
Witches,
同盟の
the
存在
very
自体が
existence of this
あなたが魔女でないことの
alliance
証に
proves
なって
that
い
you
る。
are not a witch.
嫌だ。
No,
マリアは渡さ
I
ぬ。
will not give up, Maria.
そなたは嫌いだ。
I hate you.
今すぐ
Leave
帰
right
れ
now.
ここから出ていけ。
Get out of here.
勝手にみんなをゲーム
Dragging
に引きず
everyone
り込
to
んで
the
おいて
game of your own accord, then
自分
being
は機
bored
嫌
and
一つで
chasing them
飽
out
きたり
when
追い
your
出したり
mood changes.
なんて自分
How
勝手なんだ。
selfish can you be?
見なさい、ベアトリー
Watch
チェ。
and learn, Beatrice.
そしてマリアお姉
Thank
ちゃ
you,
ん。
Maria
これ
Necha.
が本当の魔法なのよ。
This is true magic.
本当に
Can you really revive Saktaro?
できるわけがない。
There's no
ここ
way.
はわらわとマリア。
This is a golden land for Maria and me
部
alone.
外者のそなた
There
に
is
使
not a
える
single
魔法
piece
な
of
ど
magic
一つ
that
も
an
ない。
outsider like you could use
今
here.
のそなたには
As you are now, you couldn't even create a single butterfly.
静かにしてベアト
Be quiet, Beato.
エンジェ邪魔しないで
Don't get in Ange's way. When Maria yelled, the storm abruptly stopped and the air returned to silence. As the massive amount of golden petals that have been blown upwards quietly drifted down, that scene looked so fantastical as though a golden snow was falling. Maria, thinking about this unlikely, if only miracle, unconsciously joined her hands together as though praying. Beato's heart raced as she watched Maria do this. If the extremely unlikely were to happen, Maria would. This world would. But it is inconceivable, an absolute impossibility. That stuffed animal, the only one of its kind in the world, was torn apart and thrown away. And not a thread remained. Reviving it is an absolutely certain impossibility. This is my golden land. A world where magic that isn't mine certainly cannot exist.
できるものなら
Right ahead.
やってみろ。
I defy you.
後ろ見やエンジ
At Beato's scream, the world lost its sound. I slowly recited the incantation for true magic.
さあさあ、思い出してごらんなさい。
Come, try to remember.
マリアの親友のサクタロ。
Maria's close friend, Saktaro.
あなたがどんな姿をしていたの
Try
か
to remember what form
思
you
い出して
had.
ごらんなさい。あなたが
Try to
どんな
remember
に愛
what a
苦しいぬいぐる
lovable
みだったの
stuffed
か。
animal you were. Expression of shock rose to both of their faces. Then, pushing Beato's elbows aside, Maria dashed forward. Then she threw her arms around him and me both.
大丈夫。
It's
サク
alright.
タロウは消えな
Saktaro
いよ。
won't disappear.
ウリュウマリア
Maria,
ただいま
I'm back.
サクタロサクタロ
I missed you so much. It was unmistakably that lion, that Saktar stuffed animal. Maria had forgotten its softness, its texture, its stitches, its everything. But the instant she hugged that stuffed animal, everything came back to her vividly.
ウリュウ、マリア、ただいま。
Maria, I'm back.
サクタロ、サクタロ、体は平気なの？
It's your
ど
body,
こも
alright?
痛くない？
You aren't hurting
こ
anyone.
んなにひどい
Even
ことされた
though
のに。
something so horrible was done to you, you're alright everywhere.
ウリュウ、エンジェが魔法で蘇らせてくれたから。
Angel
全然
revived
平
me
気な
with
の。
magic, so I'm perfectly fine.
よかった、よかった。おかえり、サクタロ。
I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Welcome back, Saktaro.
もうマリアといつまで
I'll
も
always
一緒
be
だよ。
with you from now on, Maria.
永遠に一緒だよ。
Together forever.
だから僕を
So don't
離さないでね。
let go of me, okay?
離さないよ。
Yeah, I won't let go. Never ever. Then, still hugging Saktaro, she looked up at me with tear-filled eyes.
ありがとう、
Thank you,
エンジェ。
Angel.
エンジェの魔法はすごい。
Your magic is amazing.
どうして
Why?
どうしてサクタロを
Why
蘇
were you
ら
able
せ
to
ることが
revive
できたの？
Saktaro?
ベアトにもでき
Even
なか
Beato
ったの
couldn't
に。
do it. It's impossible.
ありえぬ。
Impossible.
どうして
How?
どうしてわらわ
How
の
can
黄
a
金鏡で
human other than me use
わらわ
magic
以
in
外
my
の
golden
人間が魔法
land?
を使えるのか。こんなことは
This is
断じてありえぬ。
completely impossible.
何をうろたえている
What
の
are you
よ
so
ベア
flustered
トリー
about,
チ
Beatrice?
これが
This is
魔法
magic,
でしょ
right?
魔法のわけがない。
Cannot possibly be
こ
magic.
こはわらわの黄金
This is
鏡。
my golden
わら
land.
わ以外の魔
A
法は
world
絶
where
対に
magic
存
that
在で
isn't
きな
mine
い世界。
certainly cannot exist.
そしてわらわの
My
魔法で
my magic was not
サ
able
ク
to
タロを蘇ら
revive
せること
Saktaro.
はできなかった。できるはずがないの
There's
だ。
no way he could.
そのぬいぐるみは
That stuffed
特別なぬいぐ
animal
る
was
み。
a special stuffed animal.
ローザが娘の誕生日のために作った世界でたった一つの
Rosa made it for her daughter's birthday, and in the entire world, only one of its kind. Adesso vi voglio anticipare una cosa, in good faith. Non sono spoiler incredibili, ma voglio solo farvi capire perché Ange ha potuto fare questa cosa. Cioè, non vi do la risposta, ma mi spingo un po' più del solito. Ecco, quando parlo a voi, di solito mi fermo prima. Vedete quest'ultima frase? Cos'è che Beatrice non è riuscita a dirla in rosso? Completamente, come Butler quando si è fermato, è nella stessa identica maniera. E a quanto pare è impossibile usare magia fuori, cioè all'interno di questa Golden Land, che non sia magia di Beatrice. Come ha fatto Ange? Vi ricordate la scena quando Ange è andata dal barcaiolo che ha il negozio con i futon, che Ange ha trovato un qualcosa sotto la scala e ha detto questa è vera magia? Cos'è che ha trovato lì? Non dico più di così, se non ci arrivate fa niente, non è importante, però volevo fosse relativo, volevo farvi ricordare questo punto specifico. Sono sicuro che poi lo diranno direttamente, anzi sono felice di non aver detto troppo. Bene, perché se fosse stato troppo ovvio non sarebbe stato divertente. Andiamo avanti.
ね
Sì?
魔法でしょ
It's magic, right? with this miracle that she could not possibly accept, Beato understood all of my magic. And she looked at Maria and Saktaro innocently frockling around, looked at me and then fell to her knees, with even her hands pressed to the ground and cried. This is really magic, right? It's magic, right?
魔法であるぞ。
It is magic.
それこそ
That is
本当の
true.
魔法であるぞ。
どうしてベアトにもできない魔
How
法
can
を
Ange use a magic that even Beato can't do?
どうして
How? How?
エンジすごい
Ange is awesome. Ange is an awesome witch.
マリアなんかよりもずっとすごい
A real witch who's much, much more amazing than me.
ええ、そうよ、お姉ちゃん。
That's right, お姉ちゃん。
私は
I am the witch of resurrection, Ange.
私に蘇らせられないものはないわ。
There is nothing that cannot be revived by me.
すごいよすごい
Oh wow,
こんな
wow.
魔法って
Even Beato said that the magic of resurrection was the hardest.
エンジはすごい
Ange, you're awesome.
本当の
A real great witch. In that moment, Maria and Saktaro's form flashed gold, and the two became golden flower petals and crumbled away. As the two became a golden wind and scattered and swirled together, they left for some other place of peace. Beato had, as promised, banished Maria from the Golden Land.
さようなら、
Goodbye,
マリアお姉ちゃん。
Maria お姉ちゃん。
そしていつまでも。
and be happy
もし
forever.
や、大丈夫よ。
It's alright.
お姉ちゃんの
I'm
世
sure
界に
you
必ずあなたは
exist
い
in
る。
Onechan's world as well.
でもそれは
But that
あ
doesn't
なたのこ
refer
とじゃない。
よかったが、
happy for you.
わらわはそなたの
It's your
親友
close
として
friend.
その再
I
会
celebrate this reunion from the bottom of my heart. On Beato's face, a mixture of what was probably every expression a human could muster. That expression, it was joy, it was anger, it was sadness.
それが魔法の
That is
根
the
源。
basis of magic, isn't it?
愛がなけれ
Without
ば、
love,
悲しみがなけれ
without
ば、怒りが
sadness,
なければ、
without
魔
anger,
法は
magic it cannot be seen. The ground shook. An earthquake. It gradually caused greater and greater fissures and began to tear Beatrice's final paradise apart. The golden butterflies fluttered about, trying to escape, but there was nowhere to escape to, nor for Beatrice. The golden land began to crumble away. The earth gave way like a floor falling through, and Beatrice was sucked into the depths of a jet black darkness. Then she was mercilessly slammed against the jet black floor. It was a small, nondescript and very dimly lit smoking room. There was no door to exit by, and while there were windows, they let no light into this place. It's Beatrice's smoking room. Even as Beato moaned from the pain of being slammed against the cold hard floor, she shakily rose to her feet. A seat was there, and the game table still just as it had been when she had left it. The game board, too, was preserved in the same state in which Beato had abandoned
そこ
it.
があなたの席よ。
Take your seat.
座りなさい。
Seat.
わらわに座るべき席
So,
を
this
こ
is
こ
the
しか
only
ない
seat for me to sit in. Seat to sit in. Beato put a hand against her own seat and laughed sadly.
勝つか負けるか
Win or lose.
あなたに与えられるのはそれだ
That
けよ。
is all you are
そ
given.
れに行き着く
A
過程で
tie
の。
during the process of
引き分け
reaching
は
that
許される
point
で
will
しょう。
probably be permitted.
でも
But the
中
one
断して
thing I will
投げ出
not
すことだ
allow
けは
for
許
you
さない。
is to suspend the game and throw it away.
勝って生き残るか。
Either
負
win
けて
and
消え去る
survive or lose and disappear.
そのどちらかになるまであなたは
Until
その
one
席を
of
立つことなん
those
て
two
許
things
されない。
happen, you will not be permitted to rise from that
それ
chair.
が魔女の
Isn't
ゲ
that
ーム
your
のホ
only
ストで
duty
ある
as a host of the Witch's
黄金の
game?
魔女
As
ベ
a
アト
golden
リー
witch
チェの唯一
Beatrice?
の務めでしょ。
Laughing weakly, Beato sat down. Then she rested her elbows on the table, covered her face with both hands, and managed to put together a smile with just a
勝
smile
てぬ
of
ゲー
mouth.
ムを逃げることは許されない
Not permitted to escape an unwinnable game.
ならばよかろう。
Very well then.
わらわが負けるわ。
Why don't I repeat
繰
this
り返
until
そう
I
でも
lose?
何を気弱な。
Spare me the pity show.
勝ちなさいよ。
Win.
あなたの最善
It's the
手を
very
尽くし
best
なさい。
moves you
あ
have.
なたが始
You
めたゲーム。
started this game.
あなたには
You have a
最善
duty
手
to
を指
make
す
the
義務
best
がある。
moves possible.
いい加減に
Now
優柔不断に
with
ふざ
this
けるのをやめて。
indecisive fooling around. Just then there was a heavy sound. Beato felt a cold and pitiful sensation to her leg.
ガッ
チャン。
やっと
Finally got you, eh, Beato?
おや、
Oh, it isn't
大
the
ラムダ
great
デルタ
lady
教では
of
な
Delta
く、まだおられ
to
た。
think that you were still here. Beato's foot was locked in an ice-cold steel shackle, fastening her to the chair she sat in. She would no longer be able to escape from this seat.
もう逃げ
You
られない
won't be able to escape anymore, got it?
私こう見えても
I'm
知って
more
るわよ
persistent than I
意
look.
外でしょ
Surprising, huh?
自覚がなかった方
I'm
が
more
意
surprised
外
that
で
you
ある。
weren't already aware of it.
あんたには中座も
You
中
are
断も
not
許されてない
permitted to leave early or suspend the
永遠に
game.
戦うの
You
も
will fight
勝つた
for
めに
all eternity in order to win, of course.
負けたくはないでしょ
You don't want to lose,
負
right?
けたら
You
どん
want
な
a,
素敵な世界に叩き落とされ
you
る
want a
か
little peek of the kind of wonderful world you'll be thrown into if you lose.
大丈夫よ
Don't
勝て
worry,
るわよ
you can win.
この大ラムダデルタ
You
教が
can win
あんた
until
が
you
勝つ
do.
まで
I, the great
敵
Lady
で
Lambda
永遠に
Delta,
面
will
倒
stick
見てあげ
right
るから
by you and look after you for all eternity. But even if I wish to fight,
戦いたくと
I have no opponent
わ
across
らわ
me,
の向こう
correct?
に対戦相手はおらぬぞ。
大丈夫よ
It's alright.
バトラ
I've
ーを見つ
found
けてきた
Butler. When Bianca appeared and clapped her hands, Butler appeared from the sky and plopped into the opposite chair. Butler's eyes were slightly open, but there was no sparkle in them, almost like a doll. Without the one pillar that established the soul, he had fallen into the very depths of darkness and had been drifting there about all this time. By rights, he should have dispersed and vanished like mist. Bercastel had managed to scrape him together. It was surprising that she had managed to bring him back to a human form. However, even though his body had returned, his soul had not. It was blown away when his existence was denied by Beatrice, and he couldn't come back easily.
バトラーも
Butler
こ
won't
の
run
戦
from
い
his
を逃げ
fight
ない
either,
あんたに勝つの
not until he beats
勝ち
you.
目がなくなって
He
きた
won't
から
permit such boorishness as to
全て投げ
throw
出して
everything
逃げる
away
な
and
ど
run just because
そ
the
んな
chances
無
of
粋を
winning
許
have
し
grown slim.
彼だって
Not even
そん
he
なことを
himself
望んでは
wants
いない
that,
でしょ
right?
後
Ushirame
ろには
Butler.
バト
Butler didn't answer. His heart was still dead. His eyes wavered slightly at the question, but he couldn't
バ
answer.
トラー、し
Butler,
っかり。
get a hold of
あなた
yourself.
はここにいる
You
わ
are
よ。
here.
そして敵は
And
目
the
の前に
enemy
い
is
る。
before your
戦
eyes.
って、
Fight!
勝つために。
Fight to win! Butler lazily and incoherently parroted her words. He was back, but the trauma inflicted on his soul was no small thing. That was only natural. Beatrice had woven her red, and he had already been denied. He had learned that the mother he had respected was not his birth mother, and he didn't know who he was.
自分は
I'm not
後ろ宮バトラーではない
Ushirame Butler.
バカなこと言ってんじゃない
Don't
わ
talk stupid.
あんたは他
You
の
are
誰でもない
Ushirame Butler and no
後ろ
one
には
else.
バトラよ誰が認
No
めよう
matter
と否
who
定しよ
else
うと
admits
あ
that
な
or
たがそれ
denies
を
it,
信じなさい
make sure you believe it
あ
yourself.
なたの世界はね
You are the only
あ
one
な
who
た
can
だけ
make
が
your
作れる
own
のよ
world, you know.
あなたが後ろ
Don't
宮
lose
バ
the
トラで
world
あ
where
る
you
世
are
界を
Ushirame Butler.
じゃあ俺は誰なんだよおふくろの子じゃないん
I'm
だぞ
not mom's kid. Where was I born from? Butler asked while gazing lazily up to the ceiling with eyes that still hadn't regained their sparkle. Of course, he answered right away.
ええ
Yes,
そうね
that's true.
レアトが赤き
Beato
真実で
declared it
宣
with
言
the
したわ
red truth.
だから私も
So
宣
I
言する
declare it too.
後ろ宮バトラは
Ushirame Butler is not Ushirome's Azumu's son. In that case, he is not qualified to be made the opponent of my game, is he?
ベアトリーチェに
The
復讐
petition
要求
requested for Beatrice.
後ろ宮バトラは
Shiromiya Butler is
Ushiromiya
not Ushiromiya
Kinzo no
Kinzo's
mago de wa
grandchild.
nai.
As Beato wrinkled her forehead, a pained smile rose to her
復
face.
讐拒否ね
Declining to repeat, I
ベ
see.
アトが宣言
Beato
した
declared
二つ
two
の
red
証バトラ
truths.
はアスム
You
の
are
息
not
子ではない
Azumu's son,
そして
and
金蔵の
no
孫
one
である
except
バトラに
Kinzo's
しか
grandchild,
対戦相
Butler,
手の
is
資格が
qualified
な
to
い
be your opponent.
これに矛盾せず
The
に
following
バトラ
theory
の資
will
格を認められ
see
る
you
の
accepted
以
as,
下の仮
and
説
as qualified without any
これ
contradiction.
が
This
私の青き
is my
真
blue
実
truth. Listen
聞
to
きなさい
this.
ベアトの対戦相手の資格は
The one who is
Kinzo no
qualified to be
mago de
Beato's
Ushiromiya
opponent is
Butler de
Kinzo's
arte.
grandchild, Ushiromiya
ア
Butler.
スムの息子で
And
ある
whether
か否
that
かは
person
問
is
題では
Azumu's
ない
son or not is not an issue.
すなわち
In
あ
other
なたはア
words,
スムの
you
息
can
子
be
でなくても
Kinzo's grandchildren,
金蔵の孫であることはできる
grandchild, even if you're not Azumu's
ル
son,
ドルフの息子でさえあ
as
るなら
long
ば
as you are Rudolph's son.
くだら
What
な
a
い
stupid
言葉遊
word
びよ
game.
ね
Word game.
青き真実
Blue truth.
有効
Valid.
レア
Beato, your counter
赤
argument
き
with
真
red
実で
truth.
の反論も赤き真実で受けられ
If
ない
you
なら
cannot counter it with red truth, there is no problem with Butler's qualification as an opponent. Butler was still out of it. He still couldn't really understand what she was saying for him. But even so, his spirit was starting to come back bit by bit.
じゃあ俺は誰なんだよ。
Who am I?
しっかりなさい
Get a hold of yourself. You are Ushiromiya Butler.
確かに
Yes,
アス
maybe
のお母さ
Azumu
ん
no
があなたを
Kasa
産んだわけでは
didn't
ないかも
give
しれ
birth
ない
to you.
でも
But so
あな
what?
たにとって
That doesn't change the
母親である
in
こと
the
に
slightest the
何も変わ
fact
りはない
that
で
she
しょ
was a mother to you, right?
例えば
For example,
あなたにとって
what is
後ろ
Ushiromiya
宮エン
Angel?
ジェは何血は繋がってないかも
What,
しれないけど
you might not share
そ
the
れで
same
も妹
blood,
でしょ
but she's still your little sister, right?
血じゃないでしょ絆で
It's
しょ
not about blood, it's about bonds, isn't it?
そりゃ
Well,
エンジェ
yeah. Even though we don't share the same blood,
は
Angel
違う
is
妹だ。
little sister.
赤で言って
Say it in
エ
red.
ンジェは妹だって
Say
言っ
that
て
Angel is your little sister.
エンジェ
Angel is my little sister.
は俺の妹だ。
It worked. She hugged Butler, who was still out of it, and slumped in his chair, strongly from behind. So strongly that it hurt.
どういう事情で
I don't
ア
know
ス
why
のお
Azuma
母さ
Kasa
んがあ
wasn't
なたの
your
生み
birth
のお母
mother.
さんじゃないかはわからないでも
But
あ
still,
なたは今
till
日まで
today you believe that
そして
she
今
was
でも
your mother.
母親
And
だ
you
と
can
信
still
じてる
do,
でしょ
right?
世の中には
In
ね
this world, there are
母親
plenty of
さえ
people without even
家
a
族さ
mother.
えいない人だって
Even
大
without a
勢いるの
family.
よアスムお母さんは
Did-
あなたを寂しがらせたことがある
Did Azuma Kasa ever let you feel
ない
lonely?
でしょ
Never, right?
あなたの平和だった
Don't
家
throw
族
your
を
peaceful
簡単に捨
family
て去らな
away
いで
so easily.
あんたは
Your
6
family
年も家
bonds
族
have
の元から
gotten
離
way
れて
too
たから
thin after
家
your
族の
family
絆が希薄すぎ
after
るのよ
leaving your family for 6 years.
もっともっと
You
家族の
have
絆
to
を
feel
強
those
く感
family
じて
bonds again. Much more strongly.
思い出して
Remember,
アスムお母さんのためにも
Azuma Kasa's sake, don't lose your affection because of some stupid ravings from a witch.
そうさ。おふくろは
Mom was always on my side.
ここはどこだよ。
Where is this place?
くれよ。帰りてえよ。
I wanna go
俺
home.
の家族は
Where's
みんな
all
は
of my family?
どこなんだよ。
The light still hadn't returned to Butler's eyes, but tears formed there.
お家で
Tears formed there.
あなたの妹が
Little
帰りを
sister
待
is
ってる
waiting at home for you to come back.
せめて
She
あ
needs
なただ
you
け
at
でも
least
帰
to
って
come
あげな
back,
いと
or she'll be alone,
彼
all
女は
alone
いつまで
forever.
も一人ぼっち妹のためにも
For your little sister's sake, if nothing else, please win this witch's game.
エンジェ妹。
My little sister.
でもよ、
The thing
わ
is,
からねえんだ。
I don't know
ど
anymore.
うして俺
Why
は
do
ベ
I
ア
have
トと
to keep repeating this incomprehensible,
こんなわけ
cruel
のわかん
game
ね
with Beato forever?
残酷なゲームを永遠に繰り返さなきゃならねえんだ。もう
I have had
嫌だ。
enough. In that
早
case,
くこんなゲームに
hurry
決
up
着
and
をつけて
finish off this game
お
and
家
go
へ
back
帰りな
home.
さい後ろ宮バトラ
Shiromiya
いつまで
Butler,
こんなとこ
how
ろで
long
遊
are
んで
you
いる
going
の
to play around in a place like
妹
this?
が帰り
Your
を待って
little
るのよ
sister is waiting for you to come home. That's right. Butler was caught up in the strange game before he even knew it, and unable to understand what he was fighting for, he was taking along at the witch's pace, toyed with and made to fight for a very long time. That should have been the simplest and first question. Not understanding that is why he loses his purpose for fighting. It's why my voice doesn't reach his ears. What he needs is not some vague purpose like winning against the witch or because she's unforgivable. He needs to become aware of a purpose for which he must win.
そうだ、帰りたい。親父やおふくろ、エンジェのところに帰りたい。もう嫌だ。ここは嫌だ。もう魔女は嫌だ。ゲームも殺人も嫌だ。嫌だ。嫌だ。
That's right. I want to go home. To mom and dad and Angel. I've had enough of this place. I have enough of witches. I have enough of games and murders. Enough. Enough.
バトラの魂が
Battle's
踊りかけて
soul's
る。
starting to come back.
でも
But
あとちょっ
I
とで
can't
届い
quite reach.
もう嫌でしょ。
You've had enough, right? Then fight so you can return to your family.
ベアトリーチェを打ち
Destroy
破って
Beatrice and come home.
嫌だ。
No. No more
もう
witches.
魔女は嫌だ。ベアトも嫌だ。
Nothing, Beato.
どいつもこい
Enough
つ
of
も嫌だ。
everything.
お前も
You
嫌だ。
too.
お前
You're
だけ
probably
きっと
just another one
魔
of
女の
those
仲間
witches'
だ。
allies.
いつまた裏切
Could
る
be
かもわから
betrayed
ない。
again at any time.
何も信用できない。
Can't
悪くない
trust
言葉は何
anything.
も信用できな
Can't
い。
trust any words that aren't
俺
right.
に構うな。
Leave me alone.
構うな。
Leave me alone! Butler's soul howled. She hugged his head from behind, so tightly that it hurt.
早く帰ってきて、お兄ちゃん。私は一人ぼっちにしないで。
Hurry up and come home, Unichan. Don't leave me all alone.
お前、
What?
私よ、エンジェよ。
It's me, Angel.
お父さんもお母さんもお兄ちゃんも
What's coming back?
誰も帰ってこない。
Unichan, not you, not mom, not dad.
寂しいよ。
I'm so lonely.
お願いだから
Please,
帰ってきて。
hurry up and come home.
お前、エンジェだったのか。
Angel, so you were Angel.
そうよ、
That's
エンジェよ。
I'm
誰
Angel.
も帰ってこない
You
世界
Shiromi
に
Angel, a
後ろ宮
world
エンジェ。
where no one comes home.
私の家族は
My
全て
entire
あ
family
の日の
never
ロッケン島
came
から
home
帰って
from
こない。
Rokkenjima that
目
day.
の前のあの魔女が
Which before your
家
eyes
族を
stole
全
away
て
my whole
お
family.
兄ちゃんさえも
Even
奪い
you.
取ってしまった。お兄ちゃんだけが
You can
あい
finish
つをや
her.
っつけられる。
Unichan.
あいつをやっつけて
Finish her
そして
and
家
take
族
your
を取り
family
戻
back.
してそして
And then
私のところに帰ってきて。
家族。
she says,
逃げも隠れも
I will
せ
not
ず
run away or hide from
わ
it.
らわが
I
後ろ
stole
にエンジェ
Shiromiya's Angel's family
家族を
away
奪
from
う
her.
バトラはわらわの
There's
ガン
my toy.
その父親
His
も
father and
母
mother
親
too, they're all
も
my
全てガ
toys.
ンそなたには
I
返
won't
さぬ
give them back to
永
you.
遠に一人ぼっ
You may
ち
continue to wander alone forever, awaiting the return of your family that is never to be. From Angel's arms that held him, the very painful, sad and lonely days that his sister, left all alone, had gone through, flowed into Butler. Because he had been playing around in a place like this, his little sister had been left all alone and had been forced to endure such painful days.
エンジェ。エンジェ。くそ。
I've-
俺は
What have
何
I
をやっ
been
てたんだ。
doing?
ありがとうな。
Thanks a bunch.
エンジェ、お兄ちゃんは
Onichan has been forgetting something important this whole time.
ずっと忘れていた。
Butler tried to turn around, but Angel was clutching his head with an incredible force, so he couldn't. Sweat? Hot drops splashed the back of Butler's neck. What they were, he discovered by holding Angel's arm as he clung to him, because it stained Butler's hand, his fingers red. Plot.
Angel, 大丈夫か
Angel, are you alright?
おい
Hey. It dripped and splashed. He didn't know what was going on. Butler couldn't tell for sure because he couldn't turn around. But hot drops stained his entire back. That was staining his entire back were surely
お
blood.
兄ちゃんを助ける
In
た
order
め
to
に
save
ここ
Angel.
に来るた
In
めに
order to come
唯
here,
一
there was a single rule
守
that
ら
I
なきゃい
wasn't
けない
allowed
ルールがあ
to
ったの
break.
それが
This
これ
was it.
お兄ちゃんに
Letting you find
私
out
が知られて
that
し
I
まっ
was
た
Angel.
辛かったよ
It was so hard.
お兄ちゃんが
My Onichan was right here before my eyes and I couldn't even tell
こ
him.
のルールさえ守れ
If
ば
I just followed the rule, I wouldn't be able to stay by your side
お
forever.
兄ちゃんのそばにお兄ちゃんと一
You
緒
and
に
me together,
魔女と
playing the
戦
game
え
against the witch
永遠に
for eternity.
でもそ
But
れじゃ
that's no good. Onichan,
帰らなきゃ
I have to come back.
お家で
Back home.
あなたの
Your
妹
sister
が
is waiting for
待
you.
っているものそれは
That person isn't me.
それで
But this way, your
あなた
sister
に救われ
will
る
find their salvation.
エンジェ
Angel!
こ
Angel!
んなに血が
So much
こん
blood.
なにこんなに
Much, so much! He wanted to turn around, but he couldn't because how tightly Angel was gripping his head. However, judging by the blood that was pouring out of Angel's pain breathing, he realized that something wrong, seriously wrong, had happened to her right now.
気にしないで私は
Don't worry, I'm just a piece. You know, in chess,
チェスだよね
they have this thing called
サクリファイ
sacrifice.
スって
サクリ
Sacri what?
そんなことは
Who
どうでもいい
cares about that?
早く手当てを
Let's get you some first aid
こ
quickly.
の手を一度離すんだ
Take off for a second, Angel.
サクリファイス
Sacrifice is a throne piece.
戦略的
For
展
the
望
sake of a strategic vision, you intentionally let go of a piece in full awareness of the loss. The ultimate goal in chess is victory against the opponent, so sacrificing a few individual pieces is no problem if it can bring you to victory in the end. Ange had made a level-headed decision. She had been told over and over again that she was a piece, not a player. In order to act like a piece and save Butler right now, she herself needed to become a sacrificial piece. Butler had to be made aware. His purpose in playing this witch's game must not be something abstract like finishing off the witch. He needs to win the game, he needs to release himself, and he needs to bring his family back home. Why? Because he has family, a little sister waiting for him to come home. A being created to bring Ushiromiya's angel voice to him. That is who ANGE BEATRICE is. Who I am. I will use the piece I am as a sacrifice to give Onichan the will to fight, to give him purpose. Onichan, my purpose is not to play with you in a witch's game for all eternity. I came to bring you Shiromiya's angel's mourning and sadness. That is my unshakable purpose.
エンジェエンジェうわ
The white, skinny arm holding Butler was pale and transparent, almost like wax, but it was stained so cruelly with fresh blood.
私はもう消
Going
え
to
ちゃうけ
disappear
れど
now, but
お兄ちゃんは
you fight with all you've got,
と
and make sure you come back to me, okay?
待ってるよ
I'll be waiting, always. I plan on helping you out a whole lot more than this,
何もできな
but
か
I
った
couldn't do anything.
ごめん
I'm sorry.
いいんだ
Don't worry about
お
that.
前が俺に
You taught me, didn't
ど
you?
うして俺が
You taught me why I have
勝
to
たなくちゃならないかそして俺
and
が
that I absolutely have to win
対に
and
勝
come
って
back to you.
俺は
What I have
何
done,
をこんなところでぼんやりと遊んでいたんだ
what I have been doing, lazing about playing in a place like this.
あ
Yeah,
あ
I'm
もう
not
こんなところ
playing
で
around
遊んでなんか
here.
いないぞ帰るからな
I'm going to come back.
帰るからな
You better believe I'll
お
come
前
back.
が乗って
I'm definitely gonna come back, bringing you a souvenir. I promise.
知らないから
I don't need one.
一つだけ
So just promise me one thing.
なんだよ
What is it?
何で
You
も約束
promise
する
anything.
この手を
In a second, I'm going to take my hand away.
痛かったで
It
し
must
ょ
have hurt.
ギュッとしてて
I held you so
ご
tightly.
めんね
Sorry.
私は
I'm
振
alright.
り返らなく
You
て
don't have to turn
いい
around,
か
so
らだから
before I go,
最後にお兄ちゃんの一番か
show
っこいいと
show
ころ
me you at your
見せて
coolest.
席
Rise from your seat.
目の前の
Point at the witch before your eyes
ゲームの
and declare that the game will recommence. Ange had hands slid and disappeared behind me. The stark marks of her fingers were left behind in the blood that had been oozing from her fingernails. But I turned around right away to take care of Ange's wounds.
エンジエンジ
ああ
Oh,
振り
yeah,
向い
and
ちゃ
you
ダメ
even
って
promised that you
約
wouldn't
束
turn
したのに
around.
エンジどこへ
Where's she? Behind my chair, as though about 10 watermelons packed with blood had been smashed, there was a sticky, pulpy mountain. And around that mountain of blood was minced meat, the clothes and shoes Ange had been wearing, laid crumpled as though they have been thrown off, as though humans inside alone have been pulverized and discarded, as though Ange, who had been standing there until a second ago, had been crushed.
エンジエンジはどこだよ
Where's
エン
Ange?
ジはどこに消え
Where
たん
did
だよ
Ange disappear to?
おい
Hey!
エンジはどこに消
Where
え
did
たんだよ
Ange disappear to? The two young-looking witches said nothing, and just silently looked at the mountain of blood and meat and clothes. But I didn't want to accept it. I did not want to accept it.
わらわは
I was right
そ
in
なた
front
の
of
正
you,
面でずっと見ている
watching the whole time,
そなたの後ろ
watching that happen,
エンジェ
watching what happened to
Don't.
Ange behind her.
お前は知ってるのか
You know.
エンジは
Where did Ange go?
生きなが
While she still
ら
lived,
焼けたでっかい
pinch
電
by
池
pinch, massive red hot
親
pincers
指台の大
tore
きさ
chunks of flesh the
全
size
身
of
の
a
肉を
thumb
引き
off
ち
of
ぎ
her
捨てていく
and threw them away.
わらわは見てい
I was
た魔
watching.
女の釜で
I
真っ
watched
赤
as
に焼かれた無
countless
数
cruel
の残忍な
tools,
炎
red
が
hot from the witch's furnace,
Angel
approached
of
Ange
sin.
from behind,
一つま
and
み一つ
one
ま
bit at a time, packed at her
肉を
flesh,
ついば
twisted it off, ripped it off in chunks, and tore her to pieces.
エンジェは誇ってい
Ange
る
should be
兄と
proud.
最
In
後の
order
言
to
葉を
exchange
交
her
わす
last words with her brother, she withstood the gasps of pain until the very end.
誇っている
She should be proud of that. Like hell that happened. Rolling there on top of the mountain of flesh and clothes was, without a doubt, what she had been wearing on her head, those pink beads, hair ornaments. To be honest, I was thinking they were a bit too childish and didn't really suit her, so I remember them well. Why has Ange been wearing those cheap hair ornaments all this time? No. This can't be Ange, it couldn't be.
ベアトに正直に
That was honest,
バト
Bianca.
ルには見えてなかったの
Butler
に
didn't see
少
it.
女になって飛ん
So
でい
you
った
could
とか
have
って
just
ごま
said that
か
he
しちゃう
turned
わ
into
ね
butterflies and flew away or something.
お前らも
Guys, also so
見
dumb.
ていたのかエンジが
You watch
バ
Ange
ラバラに引きちぎ
turn
見
into
ていたのか
little
よ見て
bits.
て
You were watching, and yet
平然と
you
した顔を
kept your faces
してたのか
that
よ
calm. Without answering, their castle, and Delta and Beatrice looked at me, some in pity, other in derision. She was calling herself Gretel, so after what happened with Virgilia in the last game, I was thinking up until now that she might be Beato's underling, and I was making sure not to trust her even though she was on my side. And then, just as I learned that it was actually Ange, I'm not permitted to see her face. And when I turn around, I find something like this.
良いではないか
What does it matter
妹のことなら
about your little sister? What did you say?
どうせそなた
You will never return from this place in any case.
そなたが帰らぬ
Whatever
世界に
happens to your little sister in a world
どうなろうが
where you
知った
don't
こと
come
では
home
ない
has nothing to do with you.
そなたがここで
As
遊
long
んで
as
い
you
る
play
限り
here, the angels of
無数の世
countless
界のエ
worlds
ンジ
will
ェル
live
の
in
孤独
isolation.
今の最後
And
と
the
同じ
same pain of our final moments
10
just
年以
now
上
will
に
be
わたって
forced upon
進め
them,
て強いる
diluted over a period of more than a decade. However, that is
そ
not
んなことは
that
どう
is
で
no
もい
of
いこ
no
とではない
that is of no importance,
こ
right?
こにいるそなた
It
が
cannot be
見えぬ
seen by you from
観
here.
測でき
You
ない
cannot
観
observe it.
測できない
An
真実
unobservable truth cannot be
赤
proven
き真
except
実を
by
用
that
いれ
truth.
ば立証できないだからエンジェルのその
Therefore,
後
your
の
anxiety over Angel's future
Solo
and
per
happiness
chi
might well be an ungrounded fear. She might, surprisingly enough, have an easy life ahead of her, never needing to work, thanks to Rudolph's inheritance, right? That was a lie. From Angel's arm, every part of the sad world that followed had poured into me in an instant. It's all because I kept on lazing on about forever and playing in a place like this. I never thought about anyone but myself. I have to defeat her and have to take my family back and come back to Angel, who's waiting for me as soon as humanly possible. Because even as I hang around with a witch like this, Angel's heart continues to be torn to bits by sadness. Angel,
エンジェ
this is
これだよな
what you wanted to see? Towards the cruel witch who had indifferently spoken of Angel's brutal last moments slowly and yet with all my mind, I
ベ
pointed.
ラとリーチェル
Beatrice,
ゲーム
resume
の
this
再開
game.
だもう俺は逃げ
I
ねえし
won't run away anymore. I won't let you get away either.
望むところ
As I like it.
わらわはもは
I
や
can no
逃
longer
げも隠れ
escape
も
or
できわ
hide.
らわとそな
Let
た
us settle this between us
確実に
for
つけよ
certain.
うどちらかが
One will win,
どちらかが
one
敗れ
will lose and be destroyed.
それ以外の結末
No other resolution
存在しない
exists.
俺は勝つ
I will win.
どれほどの時間
No
もか
matter
け
how long it takes, I will definitely defeat you.
この勝負
In this match, there will be no longer any compromise, interruptions, or losing by default. Torniamo velocissimo. È tornato.
俺は逃げない
I won't run
逃
away.
がさない
You won't get away.
俺を本気で
Come
倒し
take
に
me
来い
down with everything you've got.
くだらない騙しを
There's
ごまかし
no need for
おかしな
stupid
交流も
tricks
な
or
れ合いも一切
deceptions.
必要ない
No need for interacting with each other weirdly or acting all
お
friendly.
前と俺は敵
You
同士
and I are enemies. I have to settle this as soon as possible and bring my family back to Angel.
揺るぎなき決
Unwavering
絶
purpose.
対の意志
Absolute, certain power.
人間の絶
A
対なる意
human's
志
certain willpower becomes certain magical power
それは奇跡に
that
通じ
acts as a miracle and makes it a promise.
そう
Yet,
これ
this
は
is a
約束
promise.
され
Yes, this is a promise, certain miracle.
わらわの勝ちは
There is
100
not even one in a 10 billion chance. No.
ひとかけらの
It
奇
is
跡
certain
は
that there is
絶対
not
に
even a
ない
fragment of a miracle that could make my victory happen.
わらわの足には
Before I knew it, a cold, stiff chain had bound my
もう
other
片方の
leg
足
without
を
sound,
この椅子に縛り付け
fastening me to the
わ
chair.
らわに残された
All that
理
is
由は
left to me is either to be
バ
killed
トラ
by
ーに
Butler
殺され
and be
敗北
defeated,
を
or resist that
永
and
遠に
repeat
引き分けを
time
繰り返す
for
こと
all
に
eternity. No, I
殺
guess
されるための
that's the
心
repeat
の整
time
理
until
が
I
つく
prepare my heart
引き
for
分けを
death.
繰りいずれにせ
Either way,
破れるためだけに
I must
戦わ
not
ねばな
fight,
ら
only to lose.
ないもう永遠の
I
鎖
have
で
already
わら
been
わを
bound in
縛る
eternal chains,
そしてバトラー
and
に
Butler won't let me escape either.
みっともなく許しを請
Should I pathetically beg for his forgiveness?
う同情を請う
Should I ask for compassion by appealing to his pitying heart?
なりふり構わず
Should I
土下座
disregard appearances and prostrate myself
鎖のせい
because of the chains? Even that will no longer be granted to
チェ
me.
ックメイト
Checkmate.
これは完全
The
なる詰め
perfect
だ
endgame.
だ
However,
わらわ
I, the golden witch Beatrice, the demon lord of gold who reigns over the golden land. It may be a losing battle, but still there exists an attitude befitting of my stature. I have the right to beautify my death in a manner fitting for me. I, likewise, will make you accept the existence of my magic and open the door to the golden land on this island. You shall become the guest of honor at the very first tea party. Everyone besides you has gathered already, you see? Because the arrival of the guest of honor has been delayed, the tea party cannot begin. Your father, mother, cousins, and everyone else are getting tired of waiting for your arrival. Yeah, suits me, absolutely perfect. Magic and witches. What a load of bullshit. I'm done playing games with you. Here we go, Beatrice. I suggest you hold nothing back, for there will be no compromise, interruptions, or losing by default. One will win and one will be destroyed. If you have no desire to lose, then you must defeat me. Kill me. However, I will not go down without a fight. I can resist repeatedly until you prepare a fitting end for me. Are you capable of doing that? Yes, I'm sure you can. I know you can. Now, come kill me. Am I making you uncomfortable? Then let's go with something more familiar. Like hell, I'll be killed. Even if I can't win, I can still frustrate the hell out of you by not giving you the victory, right? Oh, that's a good look on your face. Try and kill me. Just try and kill me. Siete riusciti a leggere qualcosa che c'era scritto nelle frasi in rosso? Io una cosa sola. Sì, ho letto Come kill me, please kill me quickly. Poi le altre cose non sono riuscito a leggerle. Erano anche troppo grandi, coprivano più dello schermo. Bene. Abbiamo ancora 20 minuti. Possiamo. No, qua non possiamo ancora vedere perché non abbiamo finito totalmente. Qua c'è il tea party, ok, ma dice qualcosa di diverso del 4, no, è tutto uguale. Eh sì, poi parliamo, ma intanto entro e salvo, così abbiamo il salvataggio già pronto lì. The second day, October 5th, 1986. Wow, quante ore? Wow! Passate tipo 23 ore e 45 minuti. No, 40 minuti. Save. Saliamo qua perché volevo avere il salvataggio qui. Sono... C'è scritto qua Real time world, total playtime. Non c'è scritto l'ora. Però c'era, si è fermato tipo a -10 a mezzanotte del giorno successivo. Ma quindi adesso Se ci pensiamo un attimo, beh, fammi vedere qua. Qua, ok, qua non si è ancora aggiornato nessuno. Qua abbiamo Witch Side, ok. Qua abbiamo l'Angel Side, sì. Kasumi non è morta, non c'è scritto che è morta. Ok, facciamo una cosa. Adesso andiamo al title.